nothing but the truth, subject to the pains and penalties of perjury. Please have a seat.
Thank you, sir. Please watch your step.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. May I ask you, sit wherever you're comfortable. It's easier to move the mic than it is the chair, candidly, so.
I kind of noticed that.
Okay, go ahead.
What, sir, is your name?
Eugene F. Richins.
And do you spell your last name Richins?
Yes, I do.
Did you know Eric Richins?
Yes.
How did you know him?
Eric is my son.
Scott, can I get 842 Romeo?
Just in terms of events, do you want to show it to him first and then publish?
Your Honor, I think if perhaps we could show it to everybody but the jury.
Done.
Sir, do you recognize this photograph?
Yes, I do.
Who does it depict?
This is my son.
Is it an accurate depiction of him?
It is.
Your Honor, the state moves to admit 842R.
No objection.
842R is admitted.
Can the court please publish it? Sir, how old was Eric when he died?
He was 39.
Do you know Kouri Richins?
I do.
How do you know her?
She was the wife of my son.
Do you see her here today?
I do.
Can you please point out where and describe her?
Right here with a black blazer on.
Did you raise Eric?
I did. And my wife also. Both of us did.
What, sir, was your wife's name?
Linda Carter Richins.
Were you actively involved with him as a child?
I was, very much so.
How so?
Well, as I was raised and as I tried to raise my children as family's number one, so we did everything together as a family. Education was extremely important for us as a family, as was a strong work ethic, as was religion. So those were kind of my top priorities of how we raised our children.
And in raising your children, especially Eric, what kind of activities did you engage in?
Eric was very, very into the outdoors, very athletic young man. He was also a very, very good student, very smart young man. We did a lot of things. I have a cattle operation, a cattle ranch that he helped with constantly from the time all the kids were extremely young. In my opinion, that's what gave him the work ethic of what they have right now to be successful.
Were you also involved in his life as an adult?
I was.
How often would you see him?
See him or talk to him?
But both, actually, if you could take them in turn, please.
You bet. I'd see him at least once, twice, 3 times a week. I'd talk to him every day on the phone.
And where would you generally see him?
Ball games. One of the kids' ball games at the ranch. Basically all over the place.
What was Eric's personality?
Eric had a very, very fun-loving personality. He had a very likable personality. He loved people, and people loved him.
You mentioned that you raised him to have a strong work ethic, be grounded in family, and to do well in school. Did you see those qualities in him as an adult?
I did. I did. I was very, very proud of him.
Did you get to interact with, or I guess observe Eric interact with his three boys?
I did constantly.
Can you give us some examples, please?
Eric was their coach, but their father, but most important was their very, very best friend. He coached soccer. We both coached basketball. We both coached baseball with him. So we were constantly involved in all their activities.
Did he bring the boys to your ranch?
Constantly, yes. They were. The oldest one loves to rope, so that was his thing in life, and liked to rope, and the other ones loved to just ride four-wheelers or whatever it may be.
Was Eric a good father?
Eric was an excellent father.
Were you and Eric working on any future plans together when he died?
We were. We were going to buy a cabin together up in the Uintas. And then, believe it or not, I'm getting older, and I would like to retire someday from ranching, and trying to put it into him and his other siblings' laps.
Did there come a time in the early morning of March the 4th, 2022, when you received a phone call about Eric?
I did, yes.
Who called you?
Kouri did.
What did she tell you?
She said that Eric wasn't breathing.
Where, sir, were you when you received that call?
I was at my home.
Is that the ranch?
Yes,
Is it in Hennifer?
it is.
What did you do next?
I got over there as quickly as I could.
And by over there, do you mean Eric's house?
I did, yes.
And is that in Camas, Summit County,
Yes, Francis. Mhm.
Francis? Do you recall about what time you arrived at Eric's house?
I would say that 4:15, 4:30, right through that.
Who was there when you arrived?
My daughter Katie was there. Kouri was there. The first responders were there. Corey's mother Lisa was there. My son-in-law Clint was there, and my two granddaughters were there, as the three boys were there.
About how long were you there that morning?
Oh, approximately to 10:30, I believe.
During that morning, what, if anything, did Kouri Richins say to you?
I don't recall her saying much of anything to me.
Did she?
When I came in and my daughter Katie told me that Eric was gone, they helped me onto the couch, and I don't ever recall of even talking to Kouri, to be quite honest with you.
Did there come a time later when Kouri Richins told you what caused Eric's death?
There was. I can't tell you the exact date, but it was between Eric's funeral and when the medical examiner had declared what he had passed away of. and she called me and said that she had just talked to the medical examiner, and they had determined that he died of the same thing Linda did, and COVID.
And Linda was your wife, right?
Linda was my wife, yes.
What, sir, caused your wife's death?
She had an issue with fungus in her lungs.
What, if anything, struck you about Kouri Richins telling you that Eric died of the same thing that his mother did?
Well, right after I finished talking with Kouri, I called my daughter, Katie, who in turn called the medical examiner, and they had never received a call from Kouri.
Your Honor.
We're going to admit this answer only for the effect that it had upon Mr. Richins to explain what he did or didn't do next. You cannot consider it for the truth of what he's about to say.
Please, sir, continue.
Help me again.
Sure.
Where were we?
What, if anything, struck you about Kouri Richins telling you that Eric died of the same thing that Linda died of?
Well, as I said, I called my daughter, Katie. Katie in turn called the medical examiner, and they had never received a call from Kouri. They had not even released the results from it yet.
Renew the objection and move to strike, Your Honor.
Same instruction. That answer only explains what comes next in terms of what Gene did or didn't do. I'll call you Gene. I'm so sorry. Okay.
Please.
Not for the truth of whether those things that he just described actually happened.
Sir, were you with your wife as she was battling the lung fungus?
I was.
Did Eric Richins suffer from the same symptoms that your wife did?
No, not at all.
Sir, I need to take care of some business now regarding some handwriting samples, okay?
Okay.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'm handing the witness Exhibit 8-49, which is a collection of handwriting exemplars. Mr. Richins, can you please turn to tab 14?
Okay.
Sir, do you recognize the documents at tab 14?
I do.
Are they labeled K14?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Are they receipts from Weller Recreation Center?
Yes,
Did you pick up those receipts from Weller Recreation Center?
I did.
Did you then hand those receipts to your daughter, Katie Richins Benson?
I'm sure I did. Yes.
Thank you. Can I retrieve that? Sir, I don't have any additional questions at this time, but the defense may, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Ms. Nestor, please proceed.
Sir, we're very sorry for your loss, and we have no questions for you at this time.
Thank you.
Gene, you can step down. Do you mind taking that glass of water with you?
Might need another one.
Fair enough. Feel free to move that chair wherever you're comfortable. You can also move the mic.
Okay,
There you go.
perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Bloodworth, please proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
What is your name?
Katie Richins Benson.
And is your last name spelled Richins-Benson?
You got it.
Okay. I'm going to stand here because I would like you to address the jury. And I'm hoping that if I stand close to the jury, if you mistakenly shift to me, you're still addressing them. Do you know Eric Richins?
Yes, he was my brother.
Did you grow up with him?
Yes, yes. We were only 2 years apart. So we were inseparable.
what was your relationship like as you grew up together?
So we did everything together. We went to school together. We worked on a ranch. So we have a family ranch that's been passed down for generations. We worked on the ranch together. We fished. We hiked. We did everything together.
How has that relationship continued into adulthood?
So my brother and I were very close. We talked constantly. We spent holidays together. We had our families together. So our kids are very close in age. We did lots of activities with our kids together. Like I said, we had them on the ranch all the time together. Talked on the phone almost daily.
What was Eric's personality like as an adult?
Eric was one of the most likable people. I'm sorry, guys. Okay.
There are tissues if you like.
Okay. So he was one of. Sorry, I'm trying so hard. He was one of the most likable people you've ever met. So Eric was the kind of person that loved everyone. It did not matter who you were, where you came from, where he met you. Everyone thought they were his best friend. If you talked to him, they all said, "I'm Eric's best friend," because that's the way Eric made you feel. He was upbeat. He was positive. He literally would give a stranger he met on the side of the road his jacket, anything to help anyone out. That's the kind of person he was.
What did he like to do? How did he spend his time?
So the number one thing that Eric loved was his kids. So he would do anything for his boys. He was the best dad you would ever see. He was a phenomenal uncle. If there were kids involved, he was there. He would show up. So whether it be soccer games, so he coached my nephew's soccer. And he was the dad that coached, that went and got all the signs that were special. So he'd get there before the soccer games, put all the signs up so the kids had their team name everywhere. He also was adamant about making sure they learned how to work. So my parents were very focused on teaching us how to work, to have that strong work ethic. So he had his kids on the ranch, teaching them how to work. He loved the outdoors. He loved to play sports. Anything that revolved around his family, the outdoors, is what my brother loved.
Did he plan for his children's future?
Yes. So there's not a waking moment that my brother was not focused on his kids. So he had money set aside every single month to go into a fund so that by the time the kids got to college, they could pay for their college and hopefully have some left over for like a down payment on a house or something like that. He had every aspect planned. This is the kind of dad Eric was. So I told you we have a ranch. I love horses. My brother did too, but not quite as much as me. He liked ATVs a little bit better. So his oldest son, Carter, loved horses from the day he was born. He and I share that. So Eric tried to get Carter with me as much as possible on the horse because that's what Carter loved. I would ride the horse with my little nephew in front of me, and my brother would be to the side of me with an ATV with food, snacks, anything that Carter needed. He would have it right there so that Carter didn't have to get off the horse because he wanted Carter to be able to do whatever he wanted. And if Carter would fall asleep, which he would sometimes, Eric would take him into the side-by-side, hold him until he woke up, bring him right back up to me, put him back on the horse, and let him go the rest of the day.
Have you ever observed Eric sick or injured?
Yes. So my brother and I are very close. And so when he was an adult, he played sports all growing up. But when he was adult, he liked to play adult softball. He did get hit a few times. He got hit by a ball, and these games would go to like midnight, 1 o'clock. He would call me at 1 o'clock in the morning if he got hit to tell me my leg hurts. I don't know if something happened, if it is broken a little bit, if it's just bruised. And I would answer the phone no matter what time it was and say, hey, do you need me to come get you? What can I do to help you? And he'd be like, oh, I think I can toughen it out. I'll call you in the morning and let you know. But honestly, it didn't matter if he was in another country. He called me from other countries to tell me he didn't feel well. So if his mental or physical well-being was ever in question, he would call me.
Other than allergy medication, have you ever seen Eric use an over-the-counter drug?
The only thing I've ever seen him use is Advil.
Have you ever seen Eric use prescription drugs?
No.
Have you ever seen Eric use illicit drugs?
No. Growing up, my mom was a drug and alcohol counselor. She taught us the dangers of those, and really ingrained that in us.
Were you and Eric working on any future plans when he died?
Yes. So we were planning a trip to Disneyland that year to take our kids. He has a child. His middle child, Ashton, is extraordinary in math. We were finding programs to get Ashton enrolled in that summer for coding so that we could kind of harness that math. He was only 7 at the time, but he's just outstanding. So we had just barely gone to the zoo together. We kind of just planned our lives together. We talked all the time.
Are you familiar with the home that Eric lived in when he died?
Yes, I owned it and I sold it to my brother.
Scott, if you can bring up 1-1, please, for Your Honor, for everybody but the jury. Do you recognize that photograph?
Yes.
Is that the home that you
Yes.
sold to Eric and he lived in?
Yes.
Is it an accurate depiction of that home?
Yes, it is.
Your Honor, the state moves to admit 1-1.
No objection.
1-1 is admitted. Bear with me. There you go.
Where, Ms. Richins and Benson, is that home located?
That is in Francis, Utah.
And is it, it looks like it's on a cul-de-sac. Is it on a cul-de-sac?
Correct. It's on a cul-de-sac.
When did you sell him the home?
In the latter part of 2012.
Had you been to the home regularly between then and when Eric died?
Yes.
Do you know how many homes are on that cul-de-sac today?
So on that cul-de-sac, there's 7 homes with driveways that go into that road and cul-de-sac.
And do you know how many homes and roads were on, homes and driveways were on that cul-de-sac in 2019?
Yeah, all the homes were built out by 2016.
Thanks, Scott. Scott, can you bring up 4-1? Can you scroll through it, please? Ma'am, do you recognize that document?
Yes, this is my brother's prenuptial agreement with Kouri.
And how do you recognize it?
I saw it the day they signed it. So on the day of his wedding is when they both signed it, and I read through it with him on the day of his wedding.
Your Honor, state moves to admit 4-1.
No objection.
4-1's admitted.
I'm going to leave it up there just for a minute for the jury, but I'm going to come back to that with them later. I'm not going to
Okay.
discuss that with you.
Okay.
Thanks, Scott. I would like to turn now to the morning that Eric died. Did there come a time in the early morning of March 4th, 2022, that you received a phone call about Eric?
Yes, it was early in the morning.
Who called you?
My dad did.
What did he say?
This is not easy. He was screaming and crying and said, Eric's not breathing, Eric's not breathing.
Where were you when you received that call?
So my daughter was sick. She was only 3 at the time. And she had just thrown up. I had taken her out of her room and brought her into my room. And I had just set her on the bed. And my husband had gone into the room to check on my other daughter that was a little bit older to make sure she was okay. I just set her on the bed and I had my phone with me. I set it on the bed and I saw my dad calling. And I picked up and said, Dad, how did you know I was up with my sick little girl? And he started, whew, that's when he said, Eric's not breathing, Eric's not breathing. I screamed. I fell to the floor. My husband heard me and came running in, and I was screaming, he's not breathing. My husband thought that it was my daughter since she had just thrown up. So he ran over to her and said, she's okay, Katie, she's okay. And I said, no, it's Eric. And so I picked up my daughter that was right there. My husband went and got my other baby out of bed, and we ran out of the house.
Did you go to Eric's house?
Yeah, we went straight to my brother's house.
Who was there when you arrived?
Sorry, guys. This was the worst in my life. Sorry. When I got there, there was a bunch of emergency personnel, police officers, and Kouri and her mom, Lisa, were there.
Did you see the boys?
That was one of the first things I did was try to find my nephews. They were in Ashton's room. I don't know how to orient you guys to the house. So as you walk in, Carter's room was to the right, and then you walk down a hall, and Ashton's room was the first room on the left. Then it was Weston's room, then a bathroom, and then my brother's room. So the boys were located in Ashton's room. So there were police everywhere. There was EMS. I didn't know everything that was going on, but I didn't want the boys right there where everyone was. There's police right outside their door. So I went and got them and took them upstairs. So in my brother's house, you go up some stairs and over the garage, there's a bonus room. And they had everything in there. They had a TV, a Nintendo, all their toys in there. So I took them up there because I didn't want them by all the hustle and bustle of all the police and everything. So I took them up there, got them situated, then ran outside to my car to get my husband and my 2 daughters so that my husband could watch the boys and make sure that they were okay.
We'll talk more about the boys that day. in a minute,
Okay.
okay? Were you able to observe Kouri Richins that morning?
Yes, I did.
When you walked into the home, what were your immediate observations of her?
So, like I had told you, we had gone on plenty of family vacations together. Kouri had been on the family vacations with us. I walked in, I kind of flung through the door, and I saw Kouri standing on the other side of the staircase. She just shook her head at me. Sorry, guys, bear with me. I apologize. And I knew right then my brother was gone. And I fell to the floor. She stayed over there. I observed that she was not how she normally was when we would go on overnights. She was very well put together. She had a matching pajama-esque outfit on. Her hair was all done up. She wasn't crying like I was. She wasn't hysterical. Just stood there and shook her head no at me.
What, if anything, did you observe about Kouri Richins' interactions that morning with her boys?
There weren't any until later in the morning. So, like I told you, my husband stayed up with the boys. I went up and down. My sister came up and down. A few people came up and down to check on the boys. I did not see her go up and check on the boys. And I repeatedly asked her, when can we tell the boys? I think we need to tell the boys. I kept coming down saying, I think the boys need to know. It wasn't until they wheeled my brother's body out and I stood by the stairs at the top of the stairs to make sure my nephews didn't come out to see because we didn't want it to see. And my husband was in the room with them. So they wheeled my brother's body out. My husband did his best. My daughter was throwing up and he was trying to block it from the boys so that they didn't see my brother being wheeled out. The boys did see my brother being wheeled out. My husband came out and told me that they were upset. And so we walked down and talked to Lisa, Kouri's mom, and Kouri again. And I said, the boys are really upset. They just saw Eric wheeled out. I think we need to tell them. And Lisa said, I guess we better. And Kouri said, yep, bring them down. So then we brought them down. And that's the first I saw her interact with them.
Were you there when Kouri Richins told her sons that their father had died?
Yes. So my husband and I brought the kids down. We're sitting on a couch, and in my brother's living room, they have a couch that kind of goes like this, like kind of curves around. So my husband was sitting on the edge with our daughters. I was sitting next to them. Weston, my brother's youngest, that was 5 at the time, was sitting in between me and Kouri. Kouri was on the other side, and then the other 2 boys were in front of us.
What did she say?
She let them know that their dad would not be coming back, that he was gone.
Just like that?
Yes, to my recollection.
Did there come a time shortly after that when she spoke alone with her middle son, Ashton?
Yeah, so right after she told the kids, Ashton got upset and went to his room. So his room was that room that they had been in. I went and checked on Ashton multiple times, and I remember him on his bed. He was on his bed with his covers pulled up, and I sat on the bed and I tried to console him, but he wanted his mom. I tried so hard to console him, but he wanted his mom. So I came out and told Kouri that Ashton was very upset and I thought she should go in Took me a couple times of coming out to tell her, and I finally came out and I said, Kouri, I'm not his mom. I'm not his dad. He just lost his dad. He's very upset. I cannot console him. Can you please come in and talk to him? So she came into the room to talk to him. He got out of bed and ran to her. So they met kind of in the middle of the room. They held on to each other and then sat down on the floor, and I sat right next to him.
What did they discuss?
She was just consoling him, so just trying to get him to calm down. Right, that with Ashton, is that what you mean?
Yeah.
What did they discuss? She was just trying to console him.
Did they discuss Eric's Apple Watch?
They discussed Eric's Apple Watch later.
Okay, so
So-
we'll get to that.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay.
Did there come a time when Kouri Richins was consoling Ashton there and she was interrupted?
Yes. So Brianne Sorensen, which I believe was Ronnie, Kouri's brother's fiance at the time, I think they were engaged at the time, she came in to talk to Kouri. It was really interesting because Kouri was consoling, and then she immediately kind of stopped and focused on, they would call her Bree. And Bree started talking about the closing of the Midway Mansion.
Does this do we need to go into that, Mr. Bloodworth? I guess what I'm saying is anything further regarding that necessary to develop the upcoming testimony?
Your Honor, the state's next question will be, how did Kouri react?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sustained. What Bree said is not admissible. Don't consider it.
Well, Your Honor, the content of the call, the content of the discussion.
Well, Kouri's side of it is not what they're objecting to. I think it's just that fact. Am I right, Ms. Nestor?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We're objecting to what Bree said.
Take it from there. I understand the contours here. Let's just wait for the next question.
Okay. How did Kouri react to what Bree said?
Kouri was very businesslike, very telling Bree exactly what to do, and I was dumbfounded. And I looked at Kouri and said, you can't tell me you're going to close on that Midway Mansion when my brother just died. And she looked at me matter of fact and said, yeah, absolutely. He has nothing to do with it. The money's already gone through. It's all my business. I'm going to.
What about the Apple Watch?
So the Apple Watch, Ashton, once he eventually came out of his room, he went and got my brother's Apple Watch. Kouri was standing by him. She took it from him and he said, I want my dad's watch. So I watched her take the watch, delete the entire watch, everything off of it, and then give it back to Ashton.
On the morning that Eric died, did Kouri Richins say anything about the house that they were living in?
Yes, she told me, so the house, the 282 Willow Court that they were living in with their kids, she told me she was going to sell it.
Did anything about that strike you as odd?
Yes, I honestly could not function. I couldn't even figure out like what was for dinner that night. I had just lost one of the most important people in my whole entire life. And she was planning on selling the house that he had just been wheeled out of, closing on a multi-million-dollar mansion, I could not wrap my head around it.
Point that Eric died, who did the house belong to?
When Eric died, the house belonged to Eric. Eric was the trustee of his trust. So the house was in a trust and Eric was the trustee.
And then once he died, who became the trustee?
I became the trustee.
After Eric died, did Kouri Richins have the ability to sell the house?
No, she did not.
That morning, did Kouri Richins say anything about Eric's stonemasonry business?
Yes. She had a plan for how she was going to run his stonemasonry business. She was going to hire one of his best friends. His name is TJ. TJ worked for Eric's business partner's dad and had grown up working with Eric and Eric's business partner, Cody, and Cody's family in their family business. And he still worked with Cody's dad, Shannon. So she said that she was going to hire TJ to run Eric's portion of the business for her and that he would take care of all of it.
So am I right that the morning of Eric's death, Kouri Richins told you her plans on purchasing the Midway Mansion, selling the home she lived in, and running Eric Richins' business?
Correct.
Do you recall a family meeting that was held on March the 5th, 2022, the day after Eric died?
Yes, I do.
What was the purpose of that meeting?
It was to start preparing for the services for Eric.
And who participated in the meeting?
So myself, my husband, Clint, my sister was there, Amy, her husband, Andrew, my dad, Gene, his friend, Tisha, Corey's brother, Ronald Darden, or Ronnie, as they call him, her half-brother, DJ, her, I believe Bree was there as well, his fiance, and then her mother, Lisa.
Did you know Eric's wishes regarding burial
Yes, my brother wanted to be buried.
as opposed to cremation?
Yes, my family is very big on burial and not cremation.
Did in the course of that family meeting, the topic of cremation arise?
Yes, so we had gone through and planned the whole funeral. My brother would be buried by my mom, who the where he would be buried at, who the pallbearers would be, everything to like who would talk, who would say prayers, stuff like that. And at the very end, when I thought we kind of had it all wrapped up, Lisa Darden, Corey's mother, said, "When are we going to talk about that Eric wanted to be cremated?"
Did you observe Kouri react to her mother raising cremation?
Yes, I did. She looked shocked, like she was caught off guard at first. And then she went into it and said, "Oh yeah, he told me that he didn't want any bugs crawling on him after he was dead. It freaked him out. So we're cremating him." And I went on to ask, I said, "Kouri, why did we just do a whole entire funeral based around the casket, the burial, the pallbearers, sorry, excuse me. And now you're just bringing up cremation." And she played it off and said, "Oh, well, isn't that what you do when you cremate them?" And to that point, I said no. And then my dad started getting visibly upset because he knew his son wanted to be buried.
I need to take care of some business with handwriting samples now, okay?
Okay.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Of course.
I'm handing the witness 8-49. Ms. Richins Benson, are you familiar with that exhibit?
Yes, I am.
Generally, what is it?
So these are all handwriting samples from my brother, whether it be when he signed his name for stuff at work or for his will, any of that stuff.
Can you please just thumb through each of the tabs? I think, is there 14 of them?
16.
16?
Do I have to pay super close attention or am I okay?
No, I just want to make sure you know what they are.
Okay.
You've seen them before?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, if you're comfortable that you've seen them before, there's no need to slip.
Yeah.
For for K1, did you get those documents from the lender on the 282 Willow Creek Road property?
Correct.
And are they accurate copies of what you received from the lender?
Yes.
Did you then submit those to the Bennett Tueller Law Firm?
Correct.
On K2, did you receive those haircut receipts from Kouri Wright?
Yeah. So they are also receipts from like Wasatch Steel, different. I know there is a haircut one in here, but yeah,
Okay,
they're
did
all
you receive
different
those
receipts.
receipts
Yeah.
from Kouri Wright?
Yeah.
Did you provide them to Bennett Tueller?
Yes, I did.
Can you turn please to K3 or tab 3? Under that tab, did you receive some tax documents from Greg White, some payroll documents from Integrated Solutions, and a hunting license?
Yes, these are all my brother's documents.
And did you submit those under tab 3 to Bennett Tueller?
Only one I'm not 100% sure about is the hunting license, if I submitted that or not. I can't remember that one.
Okay. On K4, did you receive the check there from Allison, right?
Correct.
And did you get the loan documents on K4 from the lender on the 282 Willow Creek Road property?
Yes.
Did you submit those documents to tab 4 to Bennett Tueller?
Yes.
Tab 5, did you retrieve that driver's license from the mortuary that Eric's body was taken to?
Yes.
Did you submit that to Bennett Tueller?
Yes.
For tab 7, skipping 6, going to 7, did you receive those various construction contracts from Kouri Wright?
Yes.
And then did you give them to Bennett Tueller?
Correct.
For K11, did you obtain those healthcare records from IHC? Was that
Yes.
Intermountain Health something?
Yeah, Intermountain Healthcare.
Got it.
IHC's their old branding.
Did you submit those to Bennett Tueller?
Yes, I did.
For K12, did you receive copies of those checks and C&E business records from Allison Wright?
Yes.
And did you give them to Bennett Tueller?
Yes, I did.
For K13, there's some materials from a Ford dealership. Did you receive those from your husband, Clint Benson?
Yes.
And did you submit those to Bennett Tueller?
Yes.
Finally, for K14, is that a document from Weller Recreation Center that you received from your father?
Yes.
And did you give that to Bennett Tueller?
Yes, I did.
And did you give everything to Bennett Tueller in the same identical condition that you received it in?
Yes.
Thank you. Ma'am, I don't have any further questions from you at the moment.
Okay.
The defense attorneys probably will, okay? Thank you.
Your Honor, This is going to be a fairly lengthy cross. It's going to go past noon. I don't know if you want to break now or if you want me to just plow it and then we'll break in the middle.
Be approached for a minute.
Yes, sir.
She said, this is going to be a lengthy cross-examination. Do you want us to break now? You want me to break in the middle? Your Honor, how would you like this to be handled? Kouri sipping her some water. I wonder, do they come in there and do makeup and stuff for them, or you think the lawyers do that? Like, was she able to get her eyebrows done? Does she have on lashes? Like, do she have on lashes, or is those her real eyelashes? Can y'all tell me? I don't know. I mean, I know she wanted to be in a luxury jail or prison. So is she in a luxury prison where they still let her, get her eyebrows done and her lashes? I don't know. So is this something that she was able to do? Okay, so those not lashes. Okay. So she didn't get her lashes done. So those her real eyelashes. And I guess her eyebrows, she I don't know.
Folks, let's let you stretch your legs. We're going to come up with a plan here about what to do about the lunch hour. I just need a few minutes to figure it out. Okay. Please rise for the jury.
I don't understand that. So do they come and do her eyebrows then? My little bun falling. Y'all see that? Yeah, I put my pen in there.
Okay. Let's have a discussion about how to handle witnesses that are on both the state's list and the defendant's list. Ms. Nestor, what is the defendant's request?
So here's our request. There are probably. Yeah, that's fine.
That would make sense. Yeah. And is that so that she doesn't hear this discussion?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Do you mind stepping out in the lobby for a minute?
Yeah.
You can take it. Yeah, it's your cup.
Oh, yes, she is. She incarcerated, Sin. So you saying they do have ways to come in there and make them up. Okay. But the answer is that. Say too snarky.
So I knew this was coming because of conversations we've had with witnesses, but there are multiple witnesses that the state is going to call, including Ms. Richins Benson, who also have information that relates to our case. She's just one, there's lots more. Obviously, if the state is going to shut us down from asking any topic that he didn't cover in direct, then we're going to have to recall all of these people. And this trial is going to get a lot longer, inconvenience a lot more people.
Well, it's the exact same amount of time. Tell me why it would be longer.
Because
it just complicates the directed verdict motion.
Because of the fact that all of these witnesses will be required to come back twice, get resworn. We're going to have to lay foundation again that's already been laid to refresh the memory of jurors. We're going to have to go back over topics that have already been talked about just to refresh the memory of the jurors. We're going to be using exhibits that are already here, keyed up, ready to go. This court has the ability to control what happens in this courtroom. If you want us to call all these people twice, we will, but it seems a ridiculous imposition of burden on not only the witnesses, but the jurors to have to say, we're going to hear from them now and in 2 weeks from now. There's perfectly within your power to say, we're going to do everything this jury needs to do now. The state has the ability to come back on redirect and address anything that we bring up that they didn't bring up. But it seems a very inefficient way to run a trial. And it seems to be super hard on these witnesses to have to come back here twice and go through this 2 weeks apart. And especially what happens if something happens to them? What happens if she gets sick or she leaves the country and I'm stuck and I didn't get a chance to redo her? Then we've got a real problem in terms of the trial and the record. So, I mean, I've just never had a judge require me to do that unless it's just really unusual circumstances. So we're asking that every witness where we have information that the state decides not to go into, to let us do it now, not have to recall this witness, and then finally excuse her from her subpoena responsibilities.
You understand that to the extent the state raises relevance objections to your direct of this witness or another, I'm only going to have what's in the record so far. I won't have the whole picture to rule on that relevance objection.
I am not worried about anything we're going to talk with her about being decided to be relevant.
Okay.
I mean, it's clearly relevant. I'm just not worried about that.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, we're only talking to her about what happened with Eric, with this case, we're not going into anything outside of that.
Okay. Mr. Bloodworth.
Your Honor, the state prefers to present its case in an order that the state believes will provide a proper narrative to the jury without interruption. Sometimes a proper way to present a case is not most efficient way to present a case. And in an aggravated murder case, propriety has to take precedence over efficiency. So far, all these witnesses are local. I could see perhaps if there's an out-of-town witness, rather than inconveniencing the witness with an extended stay or repeated travel, we could make an exception. But as the rule, this trial is no different than any other trial where, pursuant to the rules, the scope of cross-examination is limited by the scope of direct. Thank you.
Ms. Nestor, we'll take this on a witness-by-witness basis. With respect to Ms. Richins Benson, I imagine she's going to be in the courtroom every single day. And if she's not, she's certainly subject to the subpoena power of the court. And has somebody subpoenaed her so she can't beg out of appearing?
I mean, Katie appeared today pursuant to the state's subpoena.
Okay. And that subpoena lists the entire trial, correct?
It does. I have not yet released her from it, as
Right.
we do some witnesses.
Right. And so as long as I make clear to her that pursuant to that subpoena, she can be recalled at the order of the court, any danger that you were describing, Ms. Nestor, is mitigated.
It also means she can't stay in the trial for the rest. She's going to have to be excused under the exclusionary rule.
Is it Katie or Amy that's
Amy.
the designated victim rep?
Amy,
Your Honor, the state had designated 2 victim reps, and it was Katie and Amy.
we object to
I
that.
understand you objecting to the 2.
We do. We object to 2. We don't object to Amy.
Right.
Right.
The state has to make a choice. If you'd like to proceed as you suggest, you're entitled to do so. That's fine, especially because Katie is subject to the subpoena power of the court. We can make sure that she comes back. But the statute talks in terms of 1 victim rep. The exclusionary rule says what it says. So the decision before the state is, do you want to, for this witness, allow direct to occur today so that there's no basis upon which to exclude Katie going forward, or proceed with the presentation of the testimony as the state sees fit, understanding that may require exclusion of Katie. And I apologize for using first names. There's a lot of Richins. It's just easier. No informality is intended. Exclusion of Katie until her direct is completed in the defense case.
Your Honor, how about this? Was the court about to take a lunch break with the jury?
Well, is food here? Okay, so it'll be a bit. So I want to keep using time. So I thought we could use another, it would have been an hour now, 45 minutes.
Sure. Your Honor, can we use that time for examination within the scope of direct? And then we take a lunch break. It will allow me to consult with Eric's family regarding
Exclusion.
the exclusion. It will also allow me, Your Honor, to refresh my memory. We had at the time, the state had appointed 2 victim representatives. Despite the language of the statute, we had briefed case law which expanded that language. And I just need to look back at that.
Yeah, I'm happy to be educated. But Ms. Nestor, may we proceed stepwise in that fashion?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so just so I'm clear, we'll invite Katie back in, we'll invite the jury back in, we will complete cross-examination of Ms. Richins Benson. We'll take a lunch break, we'll sort out whether you want to proceed with her, whether I will allow you to proceed with her direct examination in your defense case today.
Also, just to make sure I'm clear, so Mr. Bloodworth brought up to Ms. Richins Benson the fact that she was the trustee. She testified about that, about the trustee and the assets being in the trustee, and that Kouri could not sell the home according to her.
That was her understanding, right?
Correct. So that means I can go into anything about the trust?
Well, it
It's
means you
that-
can ask her, you can seek to show that her understanding was incorrect.
Well, I have a pretty lengthy cross dealing with the trust, and I want to bring in the actual trust itself, the document, and I do believe the door's been open, so I'm just clarifying I can go into all that as part of following up on what he brought out in direct.
Well, you gotta be a little bit more. Oh, hold on. My apologies. Missed call. My bad. You're speaking in generalities, so it's hard for me to give you a ruling.
So one of the documents I want to use is the trust document itself.
Sure.
The state has not introduced it, but they have opened the door to it, in my opinion.
Well, they've opened the door to questions about what is your understanding based on,
Perfect,
why do you think that?
perfect. That's what I
Have you
need.
ever seen this document?
That's what I need.
But the trust is, to my memory, several pages long. I don't
Well,
know
yeah.
that her testimony relates to most of it.
I probably won't even admit it. I'm just going to use it for her to look at it to refresh and when she's answering questions.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Your Honor, just to be clear, that within the scope of Kouri Richins' ability to dispose of the home.
Yeah, more specifically, Ms. Richins Benson's personal subjective understanding of
Correct.
Kouri Richins' ability to dispose of the home.
And not all the myriad of other
Yeah,
subject
like there's all the
matters.
isn't the trust going to all the C&E masonry interest and all that stuff?
It does, Your Honor.
She didn't testify to any of that. Okay. All right.
Well, I assume they'll object and let me know if they think I go too far.
As both sides
Yes.
of the V do in trial. Anything further before we invite Ms. Richins Benson back in?
No, sir.
Mr. Bloodworth?
No, sir.
Let's do that first. Great. Did you just guess anything wrong?
Which one is twerking Tina? Because I ain't picked up on it. And y'all know I want to know about the jokes so I can laugh too. Twerking Tina. Y'all want to see something? Show y'all something. It's probably gonna be in y'all. It's gonna be etched in y'all head from now on. Probably from us watching this thing. Hey, Brooklyn, how are you, Brooklyn? Wait a minute, let me show y'all this. Right.
The witness stand again. And then if you just stand with us, let's invite the jury in, please.
And I'm gonna show y'all this so y'all cannot unsee it. Because I can't unsee it, so I figure I just traumatize y'all too. Is it me? Or is it some resemblance here? Like, I can't think of nothing but Frankenstein when I look at him, man. Is it just me? I cannot unsee this. Like, I'm trying to figure out all different types of ways. I tried to focus on somebody's mustache while we were watching this, and then all I could think of is Frankenstein when I'm looking at this. So y'all tell me, is this? She got on the giant black glasses. Okay, not enough chin. Okay, he need more chin. Okay, maybe I could try to unsee it. Because I like, all I can see is Frankenstein. Oh no. This is not what I want to do in my life. I don't want to look at the prosecutor and then he's stiff as a damn board. Like I be wondering if he gonna do the robot. Oh my gosh, I'm not gonna be able to unsee it. I did it to myself, so whatever. Ugh. All right, guys. Don't pay me no attention. I don't have nothing better to do. Some really simple, but not really. Okay, SD. Well, I'm gonna find twerking Tina in the thing. Then I can find somebody else to kind of pinpoint my stuff on. Because I'm like, I can't get past this now. Okay, here we go, guys.
Folks, have a seat. Thank you. Thank you for your patience. We'll proceed with cross-examination of Ms. Richins Benson. Then we'll take a lunch break. Thank you for your patience. Ms. Nestor, take it away.
May it please the court. Good morning.
Good morning.
We've never officially been introduced, but I know we've seen each other a whole lot. But again, my name's Kathy Nestor, and I'm one of Kouri's attorneys. So I want to talk to you about, I want to go back a couple of years before Eric passed. You mentioned in your direct testimony that you are the trustee of a trust that Eric created. Is that right?
Correct.
And may I approach the witness, Your Honor?
Of course.
I'm handing you a document that's been marked as IMP KRB1.
Okay.
Take just a second and look at that document and tell me if you recognize it. I certainly don't expect you to read the whole thing, but just tell me if you know what that is.
Sorry, I just want to make sure.
Sure, no worries. Take your time. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
So do you recognize that document?
Yes.
What is that document?
It's the Eric Richins Living Trust.
And is that the trust that you were referring to in your direct examination?
When
Mr. Bloodworth was
yeah,
questioning you?
with the house.
Yes.
Yes, this is the trust.
And that's the document that makes you the trustee if Eric should pass away.
Correct.
All right. Your Honor, at this point, I'd like to introduce this as Defense Exhibit 3001 on the impeachment. We're going to start it with the number 3.
Mr. Bloodworth.
Your Honor, no objections to the admission of the document. The state, of course, is going to admit it. I plan to admit it through the witness that prepared it. the state's just pausing on the nomenclature. We've referenced this document in other briefings by other exhibit numbers, which,
We can resolve that going forward. We can come up with a common vernacular at some point.
right.
Okay.
Okay, but as to admission, no objection.
So just so the record is clear, if anybody ever has to read this, the Eric Richins Living Trust dated November 3rd, 2020 is admitted
All right, and that's going to be Exhibit 3001, Your
for
Honor.
the time being. We'll
Yes,
see if we come
Change
up
it.
with a different vernacular going forward.
that's fine. Okay, can you turn for me to section 1.03 of the trust?
And Ms. Nestor, will you let me know when you're ready to publish whatever you want to publish? To the
I will,
jury?
thank you.
Thank you.
Do you see that? Does that list the objectives of the trust? Just to refresh your memory, let me know when you're finished reviewing it.
Oh, there it is. Okay, sorry, what
That
was your
refresh
question
your
again?
memory a little
Yeah.
bit. So is it fair to say that Eric's objective, as put in writing in the very beginning of this big old trust document, was to provide for both my wife and our children during any time I am incapacitated and after my death?
That's what's in there. Yes.
So it's,
Ron,
your-
I'm sorry. Can we publish this to the jury?
Sure.
We're seeing it on our screens, but the jury's not.
Yeah, she didn't ask
can
me
you
to. That's fine.
publish?
Would you like to?
Yes, sir. Thank
Okay.
you. That would be helpful. Thank you, sir.
Yep.
All right. And you agree that it was your understanding that this trust would provide for both Kouri and the boys? Is that
Yeah.
right?
It would provide for the beneficiaries, and those four are the beneficiaries.
And Kouri was a beneficiary of this trust.
She was a beneficiary of the trust.
And that's what Eric wanted.
I think the document
Your
speaks
Honor,
for itself.
objection.
I'll withdraw, Your Honor.
Okay.
Okay, so basically there was as trustee, what is your understanding of your role as trustee? What is your role?
It's to administer the trust.
And what does that mean to you?
So to carry out my brother's wishes.
And with respect to the reality of that, there's a trust that holds assets. Is that your understanding? It holds his assets, whatever they are.
Correct?
And that includes cash and money and items, right?
Yes.
And you're supposed to see over that money and those assets
Correct, as the trustee.
and protect them, right?
Correct.
And distribute them to the beneficiaries as needed throughout their lifetime.
Based on what the trust says.
And that's your understanding of kind of your job, right?
Correct.
And as trustee, you get paid.
No,
You're not taking a fee.
so my brother did put in the trust that I could be paid and I could reimburse myself for the time spent. I have never once been paid for the time that I spent. So I chose not to.
That's very generous of you. And that's because you want those boys to get everything they can, I'm sure.
I want all the beneficiaries to get everything they're entitled to.
Okay, thank you. So let's say 2 months after Eric died, Kouri wanted to buy a car. She could do that, but she would have to ask you first, right? As the trustee.
Can you reframe that? So with money from the trust,
Yes.
she wants to buy the car?
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of litigation. So she did a lawsuit 3 weeks after my brother passed to try to set aside the trust.
Okay.
So there's a lot of litigation. So I would work with my attorneys to figure out what was proper.
Let me ask it this way. What is your understanding of what, if there was no litigation,
Mm-hmm.
what you as the trustee of the trust were meant to do if one of the beneficiaries needed some money, if one of the boys wanted to go to private school, if Kouri wanted to buy a car? What was the process from your understanding?
So the trust was actually just split into 2 separate trusts. One for his 3 boys, who are the primary beneficiaries, and then another trust for Kouri. And you'll have to forgive me, I don't have the whole thing memorized.
Oh, of course not.
But it said in there what the money could be used for.
All right. So if Kouri wanted to spend some money out of the trust that was authorized in your opinion under the trust, it would be your job to say, yes, here is the money, and give her a check, right?
Correct.
And one of the things the trust authorized was care and maintenance of their home. Is that right?
So that the home is a trust asset.
Okay. So if the house needed repair, the trust could pay for that.
Correct.
If the trust could pay for the mortgage payments,
Correct.
the trust could pay for insurance on the house.
Correct.
So in the year after Eric died, how much money did Kouri ask you for to pay for anything related to the house, to her, to anything?
Pause for 1 second.
Your Honor, objection in reference to the discussion.
Exceeds the scope.
Yes.
Sustained.
Okay. Did the trust pay any mortgage payments on the home after Eric died?
Ms. Nestor, it's the same objection.
Okay.
Sustained.
Has the trust reimbursed family members for costs paid to a private investigator?
Pause for 1 second. Go ahead.
Same.
Just 1 minute. I'm trying to comply with your ruling. Just give me 1 second because I think there's another topic that I'm going to have to save for a direct. Yeah, I think so. All right. All right. I want to talk to you about the day of Eric's death. You mentioned, I believe you mentioned that when you got there, Kouri looked put together.
Correct.
She was in pajamas. Is that right?
Like a matching sweatsuit.
She was in a matching sweatsuit.
Like sweatsuit, pajamas. I don't know the technical,
Okay.
what they were sold as.
And you
sorry.
said her hair was fixed.
It was pulled up.
It was pulled up in a messy bun. Is that what you recall?
Yeah, it was pulled up, neatly done.
Her hair was neatly done. That's what you recall.
Yeah, looked similar to today, just on top of her head.
And you also said that you went to the ground and she just stood there and did not comfort you in any way.
Not that I recall.
Okay. Katie, can you please, just for the witness only, Your Honor, we'd like to play a clip. This is State's Exhibit 1-4.
Pause 1 second. Does this have sound? It won't now.
Doesn't have sound, I don't think.
Okay.
So only for her to review.
Well, hold on a second. It's real hard for me to do only the witness.
Oh, I
Can we
mean
do-
the witness and counsel.
Okay,
Sorry.
Mr. Bloodworth.
It's S1-4.
Your Honor,
Of course.
She like she wear her hair in a messy bun. It looked just like it looked today, just on the top of her head. So you take that the way you want to take it. That's what she's saying.
Folks, thank you.
They didn't waste half their time with the short amount of time that the judge gave them for this, like, exam. They didn't waste half their time with technical stuff and sidebars.
Okay, I think we're gonna pull up their amended one that they just served like 2 days ago.
No problem. Table. Scott, you let me know when you're ready to go. Just a moment.
Sorry.
It's okay. Take your time.
This is no one's fault. This was a brand new version that we had not even seen yet, so we're trying to accommodate their new version.
No problem.
Sorry, just 1 second.
Your Honor, can perhaps the court instruct the jury just on the difference of the clips?
We're just making sure that the faces of children are blurred. Something we need to do throughout the case. They are still photographs that are on the wall depicted in an exercise of caution. We just want to make sure we blur those before we publish them. This is going out to the world. It's not just the people in here. Ms. Nestor, Mr. Butterworth, would you approach for a moment? This is like watching paint dry. That's not fair to you. So, let's give you a lunch break. Counsel, we have brought lunch for the jury in today. Is a 30-minute lunch break agreeable?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. We will take a break until 12:40. Katie, if you'd sit tight for me for 1 moment.
Okay.
All right. Please rise for the jury. All right, have a seat. Thank you. During this lunch break, It's as if you are still on the stand and it's not a take-home exam. So I need you to isolate yourself, not talk to anybody.
Okay.
Can you do that?
Yeah.
Okay. It's 30 minutes. Just keep to yourself. If
Okay.
you need to grab a sandwich or from somebody else, that's fine.
Okay.
We just can't have you conferring with anybody about anything.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Mr. Bloodworth, anything further?
Your Honor, can I retrieve 849 from the witness?
Of course. Ms. Nestor, anything further?
No, sir.
Tell me why.
Because the statute provides for one.
It doesn't. It provides for up to more than one. If you look at the language of it. And so give another reason.
I don't know why there's special circumstances that require them to have two in this case.
It's not a requirement. They're asking for permission.
We object.
Tell me why.
Because it's going to interfere with my ability to cross-examine her if I have to recall this witness
You
and
did-
she sits through all of the
Forgive
testimony.
me. Have you ever listed her as a witness in your case?
We were not aware that they were going to stop me from doing this until about a day ago. So as
Is that
far,
a no? She's never been listed as a witness.
she has never been, I'm sorry, she's on our witness list? Okay. Are you sure? I don't think that's right.
For example, if I search for the name Richins on
Right.
your witness list, it does not appear.
No, but we are happy to file an amended witness list and add her if I can't cross-examine her now.
You
I'd
can
prefer to cross.
cross-examine her within the scope of direct, regardless of whether she's on your witness list and regardless of whether she is a co-victim representative. The only thing this impacts is whether there's any prejudice to defendant
There-
if she's a co-witness representative who is not excluded.
So here's the problem. So if she's allowed to sit through the trial, then it affects my Sixth Amendment right to cross-examine her because she's been impacted and heard the testimony of every single witness in the case.
Would you pause there? Do you mean cross-examine or direct examine?
Well, direct, when I recall her. If I cross her now,
Right.
I would do it now. But if she gets to then have the benefit of sitting through the trial and hearing everyone else's testimony, and then when I direct her, she's hostile, so I'll probably ask to cross her because she is a hostile witness and I am entitled to do that. And if that happens, then that does prejudice us because she's got the benefit of being able to shape her testimony around everybody else's that she's already listened to. So it is a prejudice. And I don't know that there's any compelling reason to let her stay that outweighs that prejudice, or just let me do it now. I mean, that's their decision, but that is a prejudice and that's very real.
Okay. Anything further?
No.
All right. Under Utah Code 7738(9), subsection 2, the court shall designate a representative or representatives of the victim. The legislature, in crafting that language, contemplated situations in which more than one victim representative would be appropriate. An aggravated murder case is certainly among the situations in which the family of a decedent might want to spread that burden and duty across two family members. The court finds that the state's request to designate Ms. Katie Richins Benson as a co-victim representative under Utah Code 7738-9 is supported by the language of the statute and a good faith request. Moreover, the defendant's arguments regarding prejudice are not persuasive for two reasons. One, Ms. Richins Benson has never been listed by the defendant as a trial witness that they intended to call in their defense case. And more practically, the court finds that she likely already knows all of the admissible and inadmissible evidence in this case, and there is no additional or marginal prejudice by allowing her to be in the courtroom during the testimony of other witnesses. The state's request to designate Ms. Katie Richins Benson as a co-victim representative under Utah Code 7738-9 is great. On that basis, the court does not have the authority to exclude her under the exclusionary rule. Mr. Bloodworth, anything else?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay. Are we ready for the jury and the witness, Ms. Nestor?
Just one moment.
Yeah.
Did we swap it? Everything's okay.
Do we
I
want to
think-
take a look at it before?
I think we're good. I think we've all agreed on it.
Let's just take a quick look.
Do you want to show it real quick, Steve?
So it appears that the sister, this attorney is not about to be able to go into what she want to go into. I don't know. And I guess she thought that she was going to be able to question her like that. But it looks like they are going to amend their witness list so they can bring her back in so they can ask her questions. But what they were just fighting over is, should she be able to stay in the courtroom or should she have to leave? But since she is one of the representatives,
Katie, if you take the stand again, thank you.
she gets to stay in there. Wow. They better get their witness list together.
Okay. We ready for the jury, Mr. Bloodworth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Nestor?
Yes, Your Honor.
Let's do it.
It almost sounds like they're trying to do their case through the prosecution case because they don't want to recall witnesses. And I thought that's kind of what they did in normal trials. Like, you know, the state may call somebody and then the defense kind of asks questions and ask the questions that they want. But what the state is not going to allow them to do in this case is do that. The state is like, you can only go into the areas that we went into on direct, which is weird, but they're going to be calling witnesses back and forth. Back and forth, back and forth. Oh, right here with the laptop right here. That's Tina. Utah. Tard. She's losing. No, Tina has black frames. Okay, I got the wrong one.
All right, folks, have a seat. Thank you very much. Ms. Nestor, please proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. May
Hi.
I please support? Good afternoon, Ms. Richins Benson. So when we took a break, I had confirmed with you that it's your recollection that Kouri had a sweatsuit, a matching sweatsuit, and fixed hair, and that she did not comfort you when you fell to the ground. Is that correct?
To my recollection.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to watch a clip from that morning that was taken off of an officer's body cam and see if you can confirm that that's in fact you and Kouri that morning. Katie, can you play it? Is that you in the clip?
Yes, that's me.
Okay, Your Honor, at this point, I'd move to admit as exhibit maybe 3001 for now.
To
the clip.
3002.
I'm sorry, 3002? 3002, that's correct.
Mr. Bloodworth.
3002.
Objection to admission. We'll figure out nomenclature later.
Sounds good.
And
Okay.
just for the purpose of the jury, just a short explanation that we will supplement this with a blurred version, but for now, there's just a black box over where the children's photos are since it's being played publicly. But that'll, if it goes back to the jury room, that box will be removed and the pictures will just be blurred.
You can play the clip.
Thanks, Kate. All right, so as you're watching this clip, there's an officer there, but that's Kouri right there, right? And she's squatting down to hug you. Is that right? Katie, could you play that
Sorry.
again?
Yeah, I couldn't see nothing. Play it again.
Two Katies.
There are two Katies. I'm sorry. I'll call you Ms. Richins Benson. How about
Okay.
that? Thank you. Okay. Okay, so that's Kouri. Freeze it right there, Katie Nestor. Okay, and that hair right there, that's what you're saying she had fixed? Just her hair up and messy like that?
Yeah, as you can see, mine was down and messy and didn't have contacts in anything.
Sure. So both of you had messy hair, and she's also clearly wearing pajamas. Does that refresh your memory that she was not in a sweatsuit? She was in pajamas.
I I am not a fashionista, so to me, that's a sweatsuit or pajamas, just to be honest.
Okay, and then keep playing, Kate, Miss Nestor. And that's her squatting down to comfort you while you're on the ground, and that's y'all hugging, right?
I don't see
Your
it.
memory about that was clearly wrong.
To be fair, it was 4 years ago.
Okay. And everything you're testifying about here about that morning was 4 years ago. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. You can take that down, Katie. Thank you. Other Katie. And shortly after this scene where Kouri hugs you, and obviously everyone's completely understandably upset, was there a time where you went out into the driveway and spoke with an investigating officer that morning?
I went and spoke to an investigator in their car out front of the house.
Okay. Maybe not in the driveway. Might have been in front of the house.
Correct.
Your Honor, she's testified about her memory of that morning. This happened that morning.
I'll give you a limited latitude here.
Thank you. And who was the officer that you spoke to?
Detective Woody, I believe.
All right. And that was just to help, because there's so many officers that are going to testify in front of this jury. It's a female officer, right?
Correct.
Okay. And when you talked to Officer Woody, or I think she was a detective then, did you tell her that you believed Kouri was involved in your brother's death?
No.
Did you tell the officer that you were suspicious that Kouri may have been involved in your brother's death?
Pause there.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to allow her to answer that question, and we'll have a conversation. Go ahead. You can answer that. I'm sorry.
I let her know that Kouri had stolen money from my brother, and I thought she needed to know that.
And what else did you think she needed to know at that moment?
I left at that moment to go
didn't-
back in the house.
You didn't tell her
My
anything
recollection.
else?
My recollection is that I told her that Kouri had taken money from my brother, quite a lot of money, and that there was tension.
And what did you tell the officer was the reason for the tension?
May I have a quick conversation with you?
Yes, Your Honor.
My apologies, counsel.
Go, Sweet Pea. Go, Sweet Pea. Go, Sweet Pea. You got the volume. It's up. It's louder. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Is that better for y'all? Oh, the last little boost, when they come back in here, y'all let me know, because I be trying to try my little booster like I'm over here like a DJ. Go, DJ. Go, DJ. Go, DJ. Because I was a DJ. Yeah, I be over here trying to use this volume mixer, and they have it like where I can like change the voice, like up the voice, different things. But then I gotta be mindful and forget that I know that all of y'all are turning your volume up on your phones, and I will come in here blaring, like, and I will bust your eardrums when I come in because y'all have your volume up, and then I come in here with my big loud mouth. So I did put a sticky note to myself that come in softly, Sweet Pea. Sam was like, Precious Sweet Pea is gonna come on here and blow my eardrums out. So I got a sticky note saying, come in softly for everybody that's got their volume up. I guess then I can whisper some sweet nothings in y'all ears. I can come in and be like, sweet nothings in your ear. I am about to get ready to talk loud on the microphone. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. What do it do? Can we zoom in on that stash? I don't know. She kind of look I don't know. Her face kind of look like a she must have got her dad features. I don't know. But I'm not gonna be talking about people. I cannot zoom in on her stash. I don't know how to zoom in on her stash, but maybe I can. Let me take a screenshot and then I can zoom in on her stash. Her eyebrows are growing on her. I cannot deal with you. She was stealing money from every damn body. She stole $45,000 from her friend. That's drunky. That's what I was gonna say, but I was saying it, and I was just like, she just looked like her dad. like she looked kind of, and yeah, she was stealing money from everybody, dear. She had stole money from Paul. She had stole money from Peter, and she was starting to steal from Sam. So, yeah, she was stealing money from everybody. So, yeah, not just her husband. She was stealing money from everybody.
Interruption, folks. Ms. Nestor, please proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. And now I forgot where I was, so let me think about it again. We were talking about what you asked the what you said to the police officer when you were outside before, and this is before that police officer has ever entered the house, right? This is your first time to see this officer.
I'm not sure.
Okay. And you felt it was important that this officer know that your sister-in-law had a motive. What was your reason for telling the officer that information?
I had an overwhelming feeling come over me that I should let someone know.
Why? What was your overwhelming feeling?
That I should let someone know.
Because you believed it was suspicious? The death?
Honestly, at that time, I had no idea what was going on. I just had an overwhelming feeling. I had just barely talked to my brother. He was fantastic. When I talked to him just a couple hours before, I had an overwhelming feeling I should tell someone about this, so I did.
Because you thought Kouri was behind it?
I did not say that.
Did you tell the officer that Kouri had a reason to be upset with Eric because she had found out about your being a trustee over the assets before he passed?
No, not to my recollection.
You didn't mention being the trustee of a trust to this officer?
I knew that I was the trustee of the trust.
Did you share that with the officer?
Maybe. There's a potential.
So you can't remember?
Just give me a second.
Sure. Take your time.
I did know that I was the trustee. So I definitely could have shared that with her.
And did you share with the officer that Kouri had been upset with your brother about that before he passed?
No.
So if an
not
officer,
to my recollection.
if an officer says you said that, that would be wrong? Or you're just not sure?
The questions are a little difficult. They're really vague. So not to my knowledge.
Okay. You mentioned that Kouri's son asked if he could have his dad's watch. Is that right?
Correct.
And you mentioned that Kouri just reset the watch and gave it to him.
Correct.
So Kouri didn't go through the watch trying to pick certain things out to delete, right?
I just watched her swipe it and give it to him, or delete it and give it to him.
If she hadn't swiped it, and I'm not an Apple Watch person, so maybe you know this better than I do, but that would have meant her son could read everything her husband had ever put on his iPhone, right?
I'm not an Apple Watch person either, so I can't answer that for
Is
you.
it your understanding the watches match the phone basically?
Hey, y'all catching that? It's somebody in the audience. Can we figure out who this person is in the audience? Because they shaking their hairs like they are coaching y'all. Did y'all see that? Did y'all catch that? Wait a minute, let me rewind it. Let me make sure I ain't missing something, because I'm like, oh, she got a coach out here in the audience. Wait a minute. So, and I think this is gonna be Amy. I think this is Amy out here, y'all. I think this is the other sister. Y'all tell me right here. Is this the other sister, Amy? Put a 1 in the chat if that's Amy. Is this Amy right here? Can y'all see where my mouse is at? Right here with the red hair. Okay, watch what she do, drunkie. Watch what she doing. Watch what she doing while she getting questions answered. Oh, no.
And you mentioned that Kouri just reset the watch and gave it to him.
Correct.
So Kouri didn't go through the watch trying to pick certain things out to delete, right?
I just watched her swipe it and give it to him, or delete
If-
it and give it to him.
If she hadn't swiped it, and I'm not an Apple Watch person, so maybe you know this better than I do, but that would have meant her son could read everything her husband had ever put on his iPhone, right?
I'm not an Apple.
Did y'all see her face? She frowning her face and she about to get ready to start shaking her head. I think her sister can see this reaction. Judge, I'm telling the judge. How do I get speed out to the judge, letting them know that they coaching each other? They coaching each other. The sister telling her from the audience that they're not, that you can't say that. That's not what happened. Her facial expressions. Yep.
Watch person either, so I can't answer that for you.
Is it your understanding the watches match the phone, basically?
Mine doesn't always, so, but again, I'm not an Apple person, so I can't.
Pick certain things out to delete, right?
I just watched her swipe it and give it to him, or delete it and give it to him.
If she hadn't swiped it, and I'm not an Apple Watch person, so maybe you know this better than I do, but that would have meant her son could read everything her husband had ever put on his iPhone.
I see it. She's
right?
shaking her head.
I'm not an Apple Watch person either, so I can't answer that for you.
Is it your understanding the watches match the phone, basically?
Mine doesn't always, so, but again, I'm not an Apple person, so I can't tell you.
Do you agree there could be a lot of reasons why a mother would not want a young child to have access to everything his adult father had saved on his phone?
In a hypothetical, yes, I guess.
Okay. You also mentioned that Kouri told you that morning that she was going to sell the house.
Correct. She
And
did.
this is the house her husband had just died in.
Correct.
And she was pretty traumatized about her husband just dying in the house.
That I don't know. You'd have to ask her.
In their bedroom. Right?
What's the question? Sorry.
Do you think there's a lot of reasons why a widow would not want to continue to live in the bedroom where her husband died in front of her?
Honestly, I can see some people would and some people wouldn't.
Okay. You also mentioned just now, and also when you were on direct with Mr. Bloodworth, that you never knew your brother to use anything other than Advil. Is that right?
When he asked what I had seen him take, correct.
Are you aware that your brother did use other substances?
After his death, from his medical records that I got, it said that he occasionally took it for back pain.
Took what?
THC,
Okay. Which is marijuana.
marijuana.
So when he was alive, he didn't share with you that he used marijuana, did he?
Not directly, no.
And you talked about your mom, which I think is great, was a drug and alcohol counselor.
Correct.
And that it was important to her that your family not be engaged with the use of drugs when she was alive.
No, I said prescription medication.
Okay. So your brother knew that it was important to your family. Sobriety was an important thing to your family.
I'll be honest with you, my mom was not against marijuana use.
Okay. But you said you were?
I said prescription medication earlier.
Okay. But for whatever reason, your brother didn't share with you during his lifetime that he used marijuana.
No.
And I know you were here during the opening statement, excuse me, Your Honor. You saw this slide of all those gummies that were seized from Eric's. You didn't know that was in his house. He didn't share.
I knew that Kouri had some in there. He had shared that with me.
But he didn't tell you he did.
No.
And you also, did you know that your brother drank alcohol?
I knew that he socially drank, but he was responsible.
And he chose not to do that in front of you. Is that fair?
Correct.
And it's also fair and totally understandable that your brother's not going to talk about his sex life with you.
He actually did.
Oh, did he?
Yes.
Did your brother share with you that he was taking testosterone?
Yes, he did.
And you knew that?
Yes. And
Did I'll strike that. Did you go through your brother's phone ever?
No.
The morning after he passed, was there a period of time where you saw your sister Amy with his phone?
She did have his phone.
And how long did she have his phone in her possession?
Honestly, I wasn't watching Amy very close, so I can't tell you.
Okay. Did you ever have his phone that day?
No.
Your Honor, State renewed scope objection.
Same morning, Your Honor.
Let's keep moving. The objection is overruled as to that last question.
That morning after Eric died, did you ever, well, let me ask it this way. When you arrived at the house, had the police cordoned off any portion of the house and said you could not enter it?
There was someone at the hall, and they said that you weren't supposed to go back down the hall.
Once they removed your brother's body from the scene, and I know that was traumatic and I'm sorry. Once they removed his body, were you allowed to go anywhere in the house you wanted?
Yeah.
And did you see the police searching the kitchen?
Yes.
Right. What
Just
did you,
the garbage in the kitchen, that was all.
that was the only thing you saw them search for,
Mhm.
was the garbage.
Yeah, I wasn't around them all the time, so I don't know what else they did.
Okay, that's fair. At any point that morning, did you hear Kouri being interviewed by police?
No.
So you weren't present when they questioned her about what happened that night?
No.
Did Eric share with you that he had used hydrocodone in the past, like in that pill bottle that we saw on the screen?
So Eric and I had talked about that. So that pill bottle on the screen, it was old. It was 2016, right?
Right.
Because Eric had a procedure, but Eric did not want to use much of it. So actually, Eric and I had several conversations when his back hurt and everything. I actually set him up with an acupuncturist and everything so that he didn't have to use any. So
Let me stop
It
you
was-
right there. Just 1 minute.
okay.
Let's just break it down.
Okay.
So you knew that he had used hydrocodone in the past for pain.
He did not like to, but if it was extreme,
He did use it.
yeah, but he would never like take the whole finish the
And-
prescription.
And well, as far as you knew.
Mm-hmm.
And you knew that he had back pain.
Correct.
And you knew it because you're the person that he would go to when he was in pain.
Correct.
And you helped him try to find an acupuncturist for his pain.
Yeah, he went to an acupuncturist.
How often did he do that?
I set up the appointments. They actually helped really quickly. So he went to a couple appointments to I can't give you the exact amount, but
And when, okay, I'll strike that. You also talked about the prenuptial agreement
correct.
that you saw Kouri sign at their wedding. Is that right?
I saw it before she signed it.
And is it true that in the prenuptial agreement that Kouri knew that if something happened to Eric, she would not recover? She wasn't entitled. She surrendered. Let me ask it this way: were you aware that as part of the prenuptial agreement, she was surrendering any claim on his business of C&E?
Objection. The prenup's into evidence. It says what it says. I don't think that's an accurate characterization.
I can rephrase.
The question is about what Ms.
She
Richins
that's-
Benson understood.
That's what I was
And
going to
so
say.
you will be able to point out later whether her understanding matches the text or not.
So was it your understanding that she was surrendering any claim to his business at C&E in the prenuptial agreement?
Only if they divorced. If he died, then she would get the business while they were still married.
Okay. But if he died, once you became trustee, you were aware that his business would actually go into the trust, not to her, correct?
The business is a trust asset. His partnership is in the trust.
Okay. And that was done before he passed.
Correct.
And again, you don't recall telling the officer that Kouri was upset about that prior to the officer coming in the house?
No.
The morning that you were there, was there any period of time where you were in the garage?
Yes, I went into the garage.
And what was your purpose for going into the garage?
A medical examiner or some medical person had asked me, do you know if Eric took any kind of pill today, an allergy pill, anything? And I said, I'll go check his truck. I know he takes allergy pills, but I'll go check his truck. So I went into the garage to check his truck.
And when you were checking his truck, was there anyone back there with you?
Lisa Darden, her mom, and Bree, I think it's Swerenson, followed me.
And when you were in the truck, how long were you in his truck?
Not long at all.
When you got there, was Amy in the truck?
No,
At some point, did you see Amy in the truck?
no, not to my recollection.
All right. You also mentioned that Kouri mentioned to you when she said that she was going to sell the house. I believe Mr. Bloodworth asked, could she have sold the house? And you said the answer was no. Is that right?
Correct?
And the reason the answer is no is because why?
Because the house was not Kouri's asset. It was in Eric's trust. Her name was not on the deed, anything like that.
But she was his spouse under the law, right?
She was his spouse under the law. Yeah.
And she had a marital interest in the house, right?
Now that's all in civil court. I can't.
Sustained.
Objection, Your Honor. Cause for legal.
Yeah.
Sustained.
All right, now I want to talk about before the body was removed. Were you present or did you have an understanding about where they were going to take the body?
No.
Did you hear a conversation or were you a part of a conversation that discussed that there was going to be an autopsy?
I know I heard that day that they were taking him for an autopsy.
So before he even left the house, there was discussion that he was going to be autopsied. I think that's a verb. I'm not sure.
I can't tell you if it was before or after.
But there was a discussion in the house about it. You all knew it.
That they would take him for an autopsy? Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the conversation that you testified about where there was a discussion about cremation or burial with Kouri's mom.
Correct.
At that point, the autopsy was over, right?
I don't know when the autopsy was over.
When was that conversation?
That conversation was on the 5th.
So 2 days after he passed. And where was the body at that time, to your knowledge? I'm so sorry. I thought you were finished. I apologize.
Okay.
The
Okay,
question
can you
was
ask-
on the 5th.
Yeah, it was on the 5th when we talked about the burial.
So 2 days after they'd removed, or 1 day, I'm
One
sorry,
day.
after
yeah.
they'd removed his body from the house.
Correct.
So when you were having that conversation, where was your understanding of where the body was?
It would have been in one or two places, either at the medical examiner's office or at the mortuary.
So bear with me then. At the point that his remains were finally interred, either through cremation or burial, that autopsy already would have happened, correct?
Honestly, I remember talking to the mortuary. They were watching to see when it was done. They said that it could take a couple days because it was later. So I can't tell you if it was done or not. I can't
Let me ask
remember.
let me ask you this way. They weren't going to let you bury him or cremate him until they'd finished that autopsy and released the body to the family, correct?
I mean, I would assume so, but I've never dealt with this with the medical examiner's office. So
And once you all had that conversation with Lisa and Kouri about whether he wanted to be buried or cremated, did Kouri agree to bury him?
it went back and forth for a little while.
And then did Kouri agree to bury him?
Yeah, we buried him.
That's right. The handwriting samples that Mr. Bloodworth asked you to identify. Is it fair to say that you organized an effort to gather a bunch of signatures of Eric's to compare with the signature, another signature to see if you believe Kouri forged his signature on something?
Yeah, it was for the civil lawsuit that we were going through. And yes, it was to see if that was his signature or not, because he had told me he did not sign it.
And you personally took responsibility for that effort of gathering those signatures, correct?
So my duty as personal representative is to look into any claim that the estate may have. So yes, I did.
And you sent that information to the prosecution team in this case?
I did not personally send it. No.
You did hire an expert to look at it, right?
Yeah.
And that
Yes, I just told you that's my fiduciary duty as a representative of my brother, so over his estate, to look into any claims that the estate has.
And who was the expert that you hired to look at those handwriting samples?
His last name's Throckmorton.
And it's Matthew Throckmorton?
I only ever met him once. I think his first name's Matthew. Yeah.
And you guys paid him a fee to do that?
I actually didn't pay him. My law firm did, but then it went on the bill, so I didn't directly pay him.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
I'm handing you a document that's been marked INP KRB3.
Okay.
Do you recognize that document?
I actually do not. I have not seen this before.
Okay, I'll take it back. Thank you so much. Did you pay other experts in connection with this investigation?
I did.
Who were the other experts you hired? Is Brooke Carrington one of them?
Your Honor, objection, point of clarification. When she says this investigation, the
Yeah.
criminal investigation or the civil investigation?
Provide a little more foundation, please.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm happy to. Did the trust hire a woman named Brooke Carrington to do a financial investigation on Kouri Richins?
It's really tricky. It would actually be the estate that did, not the trust that did.
Okay.
So Brooke Carrington worked for the estate.
And were you also in charge of the estate?
Correct. I am a personal representative for my brother.
And you personally paid Brooke Carrington?
Correct.
Okay, may I approach, Your Honor? All right, I'm handing you another document asking if you've seen this before.
Yes.
KRB2. KRB2. What is that document?
So Brooke was a financial forensic accountant for us, looking into any claims that the estate would potentially have. So I paid her for her work on that.
And what is that amount that you paid Brooke Carrington?
$14,625.
And is that your signature on that check?
Yes.
Your Honor, I move to admit that as Exhibit 3003, Defense 3003.
No objection, Your Honor.
Defense 3003 is admitted.
Can we publish that to the jury, please?
Ready to go, Katie. One moment. There you go.
What's the date on that check?
6/21 of 23.
All right. And are you aware if that was after Kouri had been charged with this crime?
Let me think of dates really quick. Yes, it was after, because once Kouri had been charged, Brooke quit working for us, so she sent a bill and I paid the bill once.
And why did she quit working for you?
She started working for the state and we hired a different forensic accountant to work for the estate.
And who provided her name to the state as a potential expert?
I'm not sure.
That wasn't you?
I actually never even talked to any of the prosecution or anything before that. So no, it was not me. I did not even know who they were.
I'm sorry, you said you hadn't talked to the prosecution prior to June of 2023?
Prior to her being arrested.
let me clarify to make sure that I don't impeach you for something you're not meaning to say.
Oh, okay.
When you say the prosecution, you mean the actual people sitting at the table, not
Yeah.
their investigators.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Them.
Because you had talked a lot to the investigators prior to Kouri being arrested.
I had talked to investigators. I had never talked to these guys.
Totally fair. I just didn't want to come after
Sorry,
you.
I did.
Nope.
The difference.
I wanted-
Thank you.
I want it to be right. So to go back to that, you had talked a lot to the investigators that were investigating this case on the criminal side prior to Kouri being arrested.
I had talked to them.
And as a matter of fact, on March 21st of 2022, so before there was an official finding of Eric's cause of death, isn't it fair that you sent an email to the chief detective, the same one you talked to in the driveway or outside the house, with the timeline of everything suspicious that Kouri had done in the last multiple years?
I can't remember the exact dates.
Okay, let me approach. May I approach, Your Honor?
Oh, sorry, yes. Counsel, I trust you folks. You can have leave to approach the witness as needed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Okay, I'm showing you a document that's been marked as KRB6. Just take a second, as much as you need, and tell me if you recognize that document.
I don't know what these questions is about and what they're trying to prove. I did understand the watch thing because they want to make sure it comes in that the reason why the watch was erased is because the son wanted it. So, it seems like a minute question. And remember, they're trying to say that this investigation, the defense is saying that this investigation happened against Kouri because of the family. The family was pushing this. The family was pushing all these different angles in regards to her doing something. So that's what I'm getting.
Okay, do you recognize that document?
Yes.
And is that the email that I was just talking about that you sent to Detective Woody on March 21st of 2022?
Correct.
And attached to that email is what you called a timeline. Is that right?
Correct.
How many pages is that timeline you provided to Detective Woody?
Nine, if I'm counting right.
Okay. What was your purpose for sending that timeline to Detective Woody?
Because I'm not a detective. Eric's death was suspicious. So I wanted to get it to the professionals.
And everything in there is about Kouri, right?
No, not everything.
Did you identify anyone else you thought might have been involved in Eric's death in this timeline?
It talks about.
Well, don't read it because it's not in evidence, but you can just generally talk about the topics.
I know it talks about Lisa in there. I saw as I was flipping through it, talks about Ronnie's fiance or girlfriend, Bree. Talks about a lot of different people.
All right. And that timeline goes back years, probably. Is that fair? Does it start way before he died?
Yeah, 2016.
So you go all the way back to 2016 in the information you gave the investigators.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. And then do you remember shortly after that you did some investigation into Kouri's business online and forwarded that to an investigator. Do you remember doing that?
I did not personally do the investigation, but if you show it to me, I can definitely tell you.
Okay. All right. May I approach her? I forgot. Sorry. It's habit. That's federal court. I'm handing you, it's been marked for identification as KRB 11. See if that refreshes your memory a little bit. Is that your email address?
Correct, it is.
So that's you forwarding to the investigator background information on Kouri's businesses?
Correct.
All right. And then do you also remember forwarding on March 28th to the same investigator reporting that Kouri had asked for her wedding ring back from the medical examiner and you thought that was suspicious? Remember doing that?
Can you show me the email
Sure.
again?
Showing you KRB 12 and see if that refreshes your memory a little bit.
Thanks. Not her wedding ring, my brother's.
I'm sorry, what ring that he wore
Correct.
on his finger. And she was asking for it back, right?
Correct.
And you thought the detective should maybe test the ring, or you thought that was suspicious and you reported that?
Yeah.
Okay. Also in there, you talk about ring cameras. Did you share ring camera information with the investigators?
I did not have the ring camera information.
Okay. Do you remember in May of 2022 suggesting with the officers, the investigating officer, that Kouri may have tried to kill your brother on Valentine's Day with a
Yes.
sandwich?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because my brother talked to me about it.
As far as you know, had that information ever been imparted to them before you gave that to them?
I would have no way of knowing that.
Okay, fair. Did you also do some online sleuthing into her mom's Venmo and Susan Kohler's Venmo?
I did not personally.
Did you forward that information to the investigators to use in their
Can I
investigation?
see the
Sure.
email, please?
Yep. Showing you KRB 14 with an email dated April 25th. Does that look like your email address?
Correct.
Okay. So the answer is yes, you did that?
Yeah.
All right.
Your objection, in this case, the email, there was no sleuthing into Susan Kohler's Venmo, it was just into Lisa Darden's.
I'm sorry, it does mention Susan in it. You want to see it again?
Do you want to just show the jury what it says instead of just talking about it?
Sure. I move to admit the exhibit. And Katie, can you pull that up?
Any objection, Mr. Bloodworth?
No objection.
Okay. Give me the number one more time, Ms. Nestor.
It would be 3004.
Okay. So this will be D3004. This is, for the record, an April 25, 2022 email from an email address in bold print indicated as Richins Benson. We'll publish it now.
Can you blow that up, please, so Jerry can see it? You see that there you were looking into two different people's Venmo accounts, Susan Kohler and Lisa Darden?
Yeah, those are the two people that are on there.
And you also investigated the background of Susan Kohler and shared that with the prosecutor,
I did not personally.
but you forwarded it.
Correct.
Okay. At some point, didn't you also get access to Kouri's banking records?
Not for a long time down the road.
Okay. Okay. May I approach, Your Honor? Oh, gosh, I'm gonna quit doing that, I swear. My brain is wired that way. I'm showing you a letter that's marked for identification as KRB 16. A letter dated November 7th of 2022, which was a few months after Eric died. Can you just read that for a minute and tell me if you remember that letter?
Honestly, I've never seen this before.
Okay, totally fair.
Do you want me to keep reading the whole thing?
If you can't identify it. that's
Okay.
fine. I thought you might have read it.
Uh-uh.
Do you remember being asked how you obtained Kouri's private bank records without her permission? Did anyone ever confront you about that?
I think we're talking about two different things. The only bank records or banking that we have received is through the litigation for the civil lawsuit when the trust was granted a constructive trust.
And
so that's the only thing.
So in your role as trustee, you went about to get her private banking records?
No, it's all litigation and it's really hard for me to go through it. I mean, my lawyer's here. He can speak to it a lot better than I can.
I definitely don't want you to have to become one of us, so don't worry about it. You also had multiple interviews with the Summit County investigators. They came to your house once and interviewed you, is that right?
Correct.
And you also interviewed with Detective Woody, I think here or in this area, in this complex somewhere.
Correct.
And you also had multiple phone conversations with the prosecution, all this before Kouri was arrested. Is that right? I mean, we just looked at a bunch of emails.
We have to be more precise. Precision matters in this business.
Is it fair to,
The
I'll
prosecution
withdraw.
Is different. The prosecution may mean different things.
I'll rephrase it, Your Honor, I'm happy to.
Thank you.
It was a little confusing, so let me try that again. Is it fair to say you had regular communication with the investigators in the criminal case almost immediately after your brother's death, even before they got into the house and after?
I did talk to the detectives, yes.
Okay, just a minute. Were there occasions where you sent potential witness names and contact information to the investigators on the criminal side?
That was in the email you sent. There were some names.
Okay. Do you remember, oh, strike that. Because you were the trustee of the home, you guys were in charge of, well, let me rephrase it this way. How long did Kouri stay in the house after her husband died?
Till her arrest, I believe on May 8th of 2023.
So for that year, Kouri remained in the home with her boys. Is that right?
Correct.
Right. After that, you became in charge of maintaining the home once Kouri was arrested. Is that right?
I did before as well too. I fixed water leaks, paid off the mortgage, stuff like that.
Right. And you fixed a water leak in that house on Willow Court?
Correct.
When was that?
It was in February. It was when there was it was January or February. There was a ton of snow on the ground. So I had to pay people to shovel all the snow to get down to it.
Okay. And that was Kouri and Eric's home.
Correct.
Okay.
Well, at the trust house.
Got it. I understand. During that time, were there times where law enforcement needed access to the house to search it
Are you talking after?
after Kouri's arrest? Sorry.
Yes, yes.
All right. About how many times did you guys have to provide access to law enforcement to search that house?
I don't know off the top of my head.
If I were to say around 10, 11 times, does that sound completely out of bounds or does that sound about right?
So I put my husband over all of that. So I'm not going to have the best knowledge of that.
So that would be your husband,
Correct.
right? But the private investigator that you guys hired answered to you, right? Not your husband.
He was hired by the estate,
So he communicated with you directly.
both me and my husband.
Did you give him unfettered access to the house?
No,
How many times would you say that investigator was in that house?
that's going to be better to ask my husband as well too. My husband went with him every time.
Totally fair. Did you guys have the video equipment set up inside the house?
Like cameras
Yes.
to monitor? Yeah.
When did you guys put that in there?
I apologize, but that is also better to ask my husband. He was over all of that.
All right. Court's indulgence for just a moment, Your Honor.
I tell y'all, if that's Amy over there in the crowd with the red hair, she not feeling none of this stuff at all. Like whatever questions they ask, and I wonder, and I know she got to testify. I do know that she got to get up there on the stand because she gonna have to bring in how Kouri's reaction. She can't bring in an assault that actually happened when Kouri, karate chopped her in the neck. They can't bring in that part, but. But I'm just looking at all the little smirks and stuff, the little facial expressions. I mean, they really upset with Kouri. Just the thought and the knowledge that she may have had something to do something with this. And rightfully so.
So do you remember when you retained Todd Gabler to investigate Kouri Richins?
The exact date, I can't remember. I think it was at the beginning of April of 2022. Could have been in March. I don't have the exact date with me.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, sorry. No, yeah.
Within a couple of weeks of Eric's death.
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
At some point, did you guys plan a celebration of life for Eric beyond the funeral, like a celebration of life?
No. Did I? No.
Yes.
No.
You weren't involved in that?
No, we had the funeral.
Okay. And just one moment, I need to check one date. Hold on. What was the date of Eric's funeral?
I'm really sorry if I'm wrong, but I think it was the. Let's see. I have to see a calendar. I think it's March 11th.
So
I think.
within a week or so of his death, probably, give or take.
Yeah, it was quick after.
And wasn't there a celebration of life on April 1st? Do you remember that? Were you involved in that at all?
No.
Okay,
No.
totally fair. Ms. Richins Benson, that is all we have. I'm sorry for your loss, and thank you for answering our questions. Thank you.
Mr. Bloodworth, any redirect within the scope of cross?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you.
Please.
Ms. Richins Benson, you just discussed with
Trying to get ahead of the game, Scott. I don't know what caused that, but let's avoid that in the future. Keep going, Mr. Bloodworth.
Okay, Ms. Richins Benson, you just testified in response to the defense questioning about a civil lawsuit.
Correct.
Did the civil lawsuits begin on March the 28th, 2022, about 3 weeks after Eric's death?
That is when it was filed. It was threatened very quickly after Eric's death.
And who filed the lawsuit?
Kouri did.
Against who?
Against me as trustee of the trust.
And to defend against that lawsuit on behalf of the trust,
Correct.
you employed Mr. Throckmorton, or your lawyers employed Mr. Throckmorton and Ms. Carrington.
Correct.
And then Kouri Richins was arrested on May 8th, 2023.
Correct.
After May 8th, 2023, did the state or the trust employ Mr. Throckmorton or Ms. Carrington?
No.
The defense counsel asked you about a timeline where you presented certain information to the investigators, right? The
Correct.
detectives. And they referenced that information related to some financial information.
Correct.
Did that include your reporting that Eric went to get money from his bank and found an empty bank account?
Correct.
Did you also report that Kouri signed his signature on a $250,000 home equity loan against his house without his knowledge?
Correct. And that's what I told the detective that day.
And did you also tell them that Eric found multiple credit cards pulled in his name that he had nothing to do with?
Correct.
And that he talked to a divorce attorney?
At this point,
Correct.
We're gonna renew our 401, 403, 404B. I'm also stating for the record that I think he's now kicked the door wide open. I want to recross on all the things I would have had in my direct because it all deals with this stuff.
You're going to have a longer conversation about the last piece. Your
Okay.
401 and 402 objections are overruled.
And 404B. All the financial stuff that we've litigated already. I think I have to do it when he tries to put the evidence in.
I know, but just approach for a minute.
I understand what she's saying because that seemed like that's kind of fair game because he just asked her in regards to the $250,000 loan, right? The credit cards that were all taken out. I am trying to pull up the document that we reviewed over yesterday. I am going to load up a copy on our Discord. So if anybody wants to see, because this is exactly what they're talking about right now. But I'm trying to pull it up. And I'm going to put it in Discord for anybody that does like and enjoy reading documents and stuff. So I'll put that legal stuff in there. I did put the walk the dog in there already for you guys. And as soon as I can find this one again, I'm going to put this one in there for you too. So you'll have them to look at. All right. And any other documents that we find as we going through this case, I'm gonna make sure that I'm trying to find other stuff and different ways to give y'all something that you couldn't possibly get somewhere else when we're covering these cases. Matter of fact, I probably need to go and look into I probably need to pull back up the website where her stuff is at and make sure no other documents have been filed so we can keep up on our documents as we're going along with Miss Kouri. You know, just in case they file any motions or anything while we're in court.
Ms. Richins-Benson, do you still have some water?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Bloodworth, your next question, please.
Did you also provide the police with information on Eric meeting with a divorce attorney, Christina Miller,
Yes, correct.
and Eric meeting with a Trust and Estates Attorney Crystal Bowman Carter.
Yes, I did.
And did you provide the police with information about a separate house rented in Oakley, Utah?
Yes.
Did you provide the police with information about a change in life insurance beneficiaries?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I believe so too.
Did you provide the police with information on friends of the defendants and Eric's that they should potentially interview?
Correct.
Did you provide the police with information about a discussion involving the trust and control of the house 2 days after Eric died?
Correct. You're referring to the altercation on that, right?
I am.
Okay. Yeah.
Then did you provide some information to the police regarding, I think you mentioned earlier, like a demand notice as it relates to the civil lawsuit?
Yes.
Thank you. Nothing further.
Ms. Nestor, why don't you perform any recross that you think is within the scope of that redirect? We'll take a break, have an additional conversation.
Thanks, Sarah. I'll be happy to. I need to grab that back.
No problem.
Email.
Okay, so just to put in perspective, what just happened, all those things Mr. Bloodworth talked about that you told the police about, we're talking about March 21st, before y'all even know how Eric died, right?
Correct.
And he talked to you about a HELOC, is that right?
Correct.
And what's a HELOC? Tell us what that is, what it stands for. Do you know what it stands for?
I do not know what it stands for.
That's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
What do you know it to be?
Like a home equity loan.
That's what it stands for.
Okay.
Home equity line of credit. Does that
Okay.
sound familiar? Okay. So tell me as far as the HELOC goes,
Mhm.
it's your belief that Kouri got one of those on the house without Eric's knowing about it, right?
Correct. Eric told me.
And one of the documents that you executed as trustee, when you became trustee of the trust, was something called a durable power of attorney. Do you remember that?
That I executed.
I'm using fancy lawyer words. I'm
Sorry.
sorry. A document you had to sign, where the trust gives you power of attorney over all of
Okay.
Eric's assets. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah, I was his power of attorney.
Right.
Yeah. I
And
don't
that
think it
was-
was durable. I think it was power of attorney.
Just leave that word out. It doesn't even matter. All right. So you had a power of attorney, and that was before Eric died, right?
That I had a power of attorney
Uh-huh.
before Eric died.
To be trustee, if he ever did die. Do you remember?
I would have to ask my lawyer that too.
No
I am
worries.
sorry because I know all of it's very different, and
No worries. I don't want to turn you into a lawyer.
No.
This is actually really important.
okay.
So there was a time where you had to revoke all prior power of attorneys that were granted by Eric in order for you to have the final power of attorney, right? Do you remember that?
Is that on like the letters testimony? Or you'd have to show it to me.
I
I'm
will.
sorry.
Let me pull it up. Katie, do you have the revocation? Yeah, just a minute. Let me look at what the number is. It's KRB 5 or 6. This one, it's probably, do you see it? The revocation? Okay, can you pull that up on the screen? Only for, Your Honor, we only want to show this to the witness and counsel
Understood.
for right now.
That document is in front of the witness and counsel.
Do you see the document?
Yeah, so that's something my brother signed to revoke any power of attorneys after he found out that she used his. That's not something I've signed.
Your Honor,
That's-
I'm sorry, objection. The copy
don't-
I'm looking at is not signed by anybody.
Yeah,
That's-
and this one's
that's
not
okay.
signed.
Well-
Yeah.
I can follow up on what you just said because it sounds like you know what I'm talking about.
Do you have an objection?
I just want to make sure we're looking at the same document. She said signed, and I'm not seeing.
Oh,
any-
okay.
You two are looking at the same document.
Yeah,
Whether it's the same document.
It's not signed,
Pause
Brad. That
for-
was my bad.
Pause for 1 moment for me, Katie. Whether Ms. Nestor is referring to a different document, I don't know.
Understood.
I think I can clear all this up, and I don't really care too much about the document itself. I'm trying to
Okay.
refresh your memory. It sounds like it's refreshed. So you remember that Eric had to revoke power of attorneys that Kouri had previously had.
Yes, Eric did revoke it.
And you remember what that means is she had a previous power of attorney from Eric. Is that right?
She did have her previous power of attorney, but he did not know that she used it and
Okay.
took out the money.
But the power of attorney she had, and he was upset about it and wanted to revoke it so she couldn't do it again. Is
But-
that fair?
No, to be fair, he said he never signed that one. So there's a lot of litigation on if that's actually proper or not, because he said he did not sign that one. But she did have the
Your
signature
Honor,
on
hold
it.
on just a minute.
Yeah.
Your Honor, we did not ask her to say what Eric said specifically. I would ask that we strike that, or at least tell the jury it's for purposes of why she did what she did and not to take it for truth of the matter.
So let's be careful here. There have been times when Ms. Richins Benson has given an explanation for why she did or didn't do a thing, and that may have included her recollection of what Eric Richins told her. Those comments so far are inadmissible hearsay that cannot be considered for their truth as to whether Eric actually did those things or not, or thought those things or not. Rather, they can only be considered as context for why Ms. Richins Benson, as the listener, the hearer of those comments, did or didn't do whatever she did or didn't do next.
Thank you, Your Honor. I appreciate that clarification. So to go back, it's your understanding, I just want to I'm not going to beat a dead horse here, but I'm hearing you say that you knew that there was a previous power of attorney that had been given to Kouri, whether Eric signed it, didn't sign it, that there was a dispute about that. And at some point before he died, he said, I'm going to revoke all previous power of attorneys, including that one.
Yes.
That's what I needed. Thank you very much. Also, Mr. Bloodworth just asked you about Eric seeing a divorce attorney. Do you remember when that was?
The dates and everything, it was in 2020.
So
It was before he did his will,
about 2 years before he passed, he saw a divorce attorney, right?
a year and a half.
And is it true that you or your husband are the person who set that meeting up with the divorce attorney?
Correct?
Which one of you?
My husband.
And did you just know this person? So you're like, hey, use this lady, or why were you involved in that?
I wasn't. I just said it was my husband. So you'd have to ask him on that.
Totally
Sorry.
fair. Also, Your Honor, because, may I approach just to be safe?
Yeah, I guess they're gonna have to call the husband because he gotta come up here. He gotta answer to some of these questions that the wife can't answer. Like they were way too involved with this. In my opinion, they seem like the husband and his sister was like all into this case. Like all up in it. They wanted to know everything that was going on and how it was going on. Yeah, they look like they might have been doing too much. I mean, he was telling her even about his sex life, so dang. She couldn't have nothing to herself. Because the sister, they sure knew everything.
When you were previously being questioned by me, I asked you a question and we decided we weren't going to go into that, but we are going to go into it now. So I'm going to ask it very specific. Okay. Did Kouri ever ask the trust to pay her any money in the year after Eric's death, separate from the litigation? Did she ask you to make any disbursements to her or the boys in the year after Eric died as trustee?
Not that I can remember.
That's all I have, Your Honor. And we will fully release this witness. She can remain in the courtroom for the remainder of the trial.
Mr. Glover, any additional questions for Ms. Richins Benson?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
You're welcome to step down.
Okay,
Thank you. Watch your step, please. Yes. Let's see, counsel, should we take a brief restroom break before the next witness? Not knowing how long the next one will take, Mr. Bloodworth.
Your Honor, state will probably need 20 minutes.
Folks want a restroom break? Want to stretch your legs? Nobody. Everybody's shaking their head no. Okay, let's keep rolling.
All right. Your Honor, the state calls Clint Benson.
All right.
Okay, so this the husband. Mr. Benson, why was you all up in their business? Why was you the third wheel, you and your wife? Why were y'all doing all these things? Can you please explain? Can you talk to us about it?
Mr. Benson, good afternoon. If you'd step in front of Brittany, we'll get you sworn in, sir. Thank you.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in the matter before the court to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, subject to the pains and penalties of perjury?
You can track it around, whatever's comfortable.
Sounds good. There we go.
Mr. Burmester, please proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Can you please state your full name and spell your last name for the record?
Yes, Clinton Benson, Benson.
Sir, are you employed?
I am.
How are you employed?
I'm employed by Salt Lake County. I'm their real estate operations and asset manager. I manage their portfolio of 1,700 parcels and about a $5 billion portfolio.
Do you have any other licenses or, licenses? Let's go with that.
I do. Yes, I'm a licensed realtor as well as licensed appraiser.
I see. You are married to Kouri Richins Benson.
Yes,
And did you know Eric
I did.
and Kouri?
Yes.
Okay. Are you familiar with the address of 282 Willow Court Road?
I am.
How are you familiar with that?
That is one of our prior homes and Eric Richins' home.
Okay. So you lived in it beforehand,
Yes, we did.
and then what happened?
We sold the home to Eric Richins.
I see. After Eric died, where did Kouri and the kids live?
Kouri and the kids lived at Eric's home at the 282 Willow Court address.
Okay. And then after May 8th, who was responsible for securing that address?
That was me.
Okay. And what did you do to secure that home?
So on May 8th, I arranged for a locksmith to come and change all the locks. I also arranged for a private security company to come out and watch the home until we could get internet service provided, as well as install cameras around the property.
Okay. Once you had the internet, what happened then?
That was when we could install the cameras. The cameras require an internet access in order to record.
I see. And how long did that take before you got the cameras installed?
That was as quickly as possible. So we had private security there. We had private security there for 2 days until we could get that internet up and running.
Was there a person there 24/7?
There was. Yeah.
Did you take any other efforts to make sure no one entered that home?
I also taped doors throughout the property, so then I would know if a door was open and closed.
Okay. Now, did you have any real-time notice if there was some disturbance or something?
I did. So those cameras would send my cell phone a notice anytime something was tripped. So that included even something as small as bug movement would trigger on the phone. So I'd be watching that.
So did you get a lot of notices?
There was a lot of notices. Yeah.
Okay. What did you do upon receiving a notice?
Receiving a notice, I would of course, pull up the footage. I'd review it, make sure there was not a person that was trying to access the home. And at that point, then I would, if there was no one trying to access it, then of course I would close it down.
Okay. If there was somebody?
I would immediately call law enforcement.
Okay. Did you ever have to call law enforcement?
I did.
Did they show up?
They did within minutes.
Are you aware of any entry to the house? Let me back up. Is there a separate garage?
There is a separate detached garage.
Okay. Are you aware of any unauthorized entry of the home or the detached garage during the time you were in charge of security?
No, there was no entry.
Were there occasions when authorized personnel needed or wanted to make entry?
There was.
Who would that have been?
It would be the sheriff's personnel, and they would arrange through me if they needed to access the home.
Were there occasions when you yourself went in? There
was.
Tell me about that.
So I would go in the home if the kids, meaning Carter, Ashton, or Weston, if they had requested a specific item, so they still did have clothing in the home as well as some sentimental items, trophies, things like that they wanted in the home.
And so, how did that work? Just you did it, and no one else, or?
It was primarily me. Occasionally, there was one instance where there was a live animal in the home. Carter did have a lizard, so I had to have help to carry that out of the home. So I had a family member help me do that.
Okay, but always you were there?
Yes.
Okay. And were there occasions when, I think there's been mention about Todd Gabler? Do you know him?
Yes.
Was there times when he asked to have entry?
Yes.
Were you with him?
I was.
Okay. How about defense attorneys or investigators? Did they have access?
Yes, we would. If they did request access, we would go with them to go through the home.
When you were going through the house, did you ever? Not through the house. When you were inside the house, on any occasion, did you ever see a missionary journal?
I do recall a missionary journal. Their master bedroom had a large master closet that was
Excuse me.
attached.
Who's they?
Kouri and Eric.
Okay.
Yep. So the master bedroom had a large closet that was attached, and
Okay.
I believe it was on the right side of that closet.
Okay. This journal was?
Yes,
Okay. Do you know whether Eric went on a mission?
he did go on a mission.
During your time in the home, either during this period or other occasions, did you see some written coupons?
I did. Yeah,
Where did you see those?
in the master bedroom.
When did you see that? Do you recall?
I
Approximately.
don't recall when I saw
After
it.
after May 8th, 23?
Correct. Yep.
I see. I'd like to turn your attention to October, November of 2020. Were you present with Katie when there was a phone call from Eric?
I was.
Okay. And could you hear the phone conversation?
I could. She had it on speakerphone.
I see. You had met Eric prior to that. I mean, you had known him for some years
Yes.
before that.
Yes.
So could you tell what his demeanor was like?
I could. He was extremely distressed. I mean, he was really upset.
Angry upset or sad upset or a little bit of both? I mean,
It was a combination of both.
I see. Did he explain to you why he was upset? I'm not asking you what he said. I'm asking, did he explain why he was upset?
Yes.
Okay. Having heard that, did you do something to assist with the situation?
I did. Yeah,
What
I
did you do?
I knew he was on his way over to our home after overhearing the conversation with Katie. In the amount of time it took him to get from where he was to our house, I was able to pull up the Summit County website, the recorder's website, where I could pull up the property address as well as the parcel ID and be able to view all of the recorded documents against the home.
I see. And when you looked at that, did you find something that concerned you about the 282 Willow Court?
I did.
And what was that?
I found a $250,000 home equity line of credit that was taken out against Eric's house.
Did you pass that information on to Eric?
Yes.
After that conversation, that passing of that information, can you relate to us Eric's demeanor from that point?
Yeah, his demeanor was still very upset and very sad in general. So,
Do you know what he did following that?
what he did following that, so we had a discussion about divorce attorneys while he was there
Okay.
as a result of finding out about that line of credit.
So how did you suggest a name?
I did.
Was that on request or were you encouraging?
It was on request, and so I mean, obviously Eric was extremely upset about what was happening, and it was just that conversation we were having where it was the next step would be to get a divorce attorney involved.
And so did you suggest a name?
I did.
Who was that?
Christina Miller.
Did you work out a system of communication between Christina Miller and Eric?
I did.
And what was that? Could you just describe it?
So I was an intermediary. So I would handle phone calls as well as emails back and forth. So Eric, they had requested certain amounts of information from Eric, and I would handle that passage of information.
Okay. Okay. Holding here, believe we called it 8-49, Your Honor. And I overheard we have continuing permissions.
Please.
I'm going to hand the witness State's Exhibit 8-49. I'd like to direct your attention to tab 13. Do you recognize what's there at tab 13?
I do.
Could you describe what it is?
It's a customer cash payment authorization form. It's a Ford paperwork.
Okay. Do you know where it came from?
Yes, it came from the Heber Ford dealership.
Do you know, did you get it?
I did. I picked this up.
Okay. And once you picked that paperwork up, what did you do with it?
I gave it to Katie.
Okay. Does it have Eric's signature on it?
It does.
Okay. All right. I'd like you to direct your attention to tab 15. Do you recognize that?
I do.
Is that a photograph?
This is a photograph.
Yeah, of that journal you spoke about earlier?
Yep.
That's that same one that you'd seen in the house.
Correct. I saw the front cover of it. It's a much smaller book.
Okay. All right, let's turn to tab 16, please. Do you recognize that?
I do.
What is it?
It's coupons.
You had mentioned earlier that you had seen some coupons in the house.
Yes.
Are those the ones?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to direct your attention back to March 4th of 2022. My understanding is that you were at home in the middle of the night and the daughter was sick. Is that correct?
Yes. My youngest daughter had the stomach flu.
Okay. And you or Katie received a phone call?
Yes. Katie received a phone call.
What did you do after that?
We literally ran out of the house, left the doors open, jumped in the car and drove over, honestly, as quick as we could. So
when you got to the house, what happened?
when we got to the house, Katie went in. I stayed outside for a little while, just because I had my daughters with me. I have two young daughters, but and then after that point, we ended up going into the home.
When you first entered the home, did you see anything unusual?
My number one priority was taking care of the kids, my two daughters, as well as the boys. So I mean, I noticed some hand movements that Kouri was making, which seemed to me unusual. But
had you ever seen those hand movements before?
No.
Could you demonstrate for the jury what you saw?
Simply like that. It didn't seem to me to be an unconscious tremor, but it just almost like just an intentional movement.
I thought he was about to say she was throwing up gang signs.
Once you were in the house, where did you go next?
I went up the steps up to the bonus room that Eric had.
Okay. Who was up there?
It was Carter, Ashton, Weston, and then my two daughters.
Okay. Did other adults come in and go out during the course of the morning?
They did.
At some point, were you aware that the medical personnel, the transportation personnel were moving Eric's body from the house to their truck?
We could hear that. Yep.
Okay. So what was happening at that moment?
So that basically those 4 hours, I was up with the kids. We were watching movies, playing games, doing things like that, trying to keep them occupied. Then we could hear the medical personnel leaving the home. I tried to stop the kids from going to the window, but I mean, given 5 kids up in that room, I mean, it was almost impossible. But
was your daughter still ill at this time?
She is. Yep. She was vomiting on the floor, but
Okay.
but yeah, so I stopped the kids from going to the window. They went to the window, and I think that was when they first saw their dad being wheeled out of the home and knew that he had passed.
Okay, you said they.
Yeah.
Can you just use names to make sure we understand who it is you're
I
talking about?
apologize. Yep.
No, you don't have to apologize. It just,
So that was Carter and Ashton
okay.
were the two main.
All right. And so what did you see?
So they saw Eric being wheeled out and put into the ambulance.
Did Carter say anything or do anything?
Carter's response was,
Why don't we focus on do first?
Yes. Did Carter do something or not?
his response was somewhat just level-headed. He knew at that point his dad was gone.
Okay. How about Ashton's response? What was that like?
Ashton's his response was totally different. He just broke down and he was extremely upset.
Okay. Were you present for any requests by anyone, including Katie or yourself or anyone else, of Kouri to inform the boys about what had happened or the status of their father?
Sorry, can you say that question again?
Did you hear anyone ask Kouri to tell the boys that their father had passed?
I did.
That morning, after that, did you hear Kouri Richins talk about her plans with C&E?
I did.
Tell the court about that.
She had what sounded like what I would say would be a fully baked plan of what she was going to do with that company as of that morning. She was going to have, his name's TJ Pellegrino, I believe is his name, but she was going to have him take over running Eric's company alongside with Cody Wright.
I see. Can I have one moment, Your Honor?
Of course.
I have nothing further for this witness, Your Honor.
Ms. Lewis.
Good afternoon, Mr. Benson.
Good afternoon.
I believe we've met, but I'm Wendy Lewis, one of Kouri's attorneys. Let's go back to 2012 for a moment. You said that that was when you sold the home, you and your wife sold the home to Eric, correct?
Correct.
And Eric and Kouri were living together at that time, correct?
I believe so. I can't say for sure, but I
Okay.
believe so.
Well, when Eric moved into the home, Kouri moved into the home with him, correct?
I believe so.
And they were married less than a year after moving into that home together.
Yes, that sounds correct.
All right. So that home was always lived in by both Eric and Kouri from the time Eric took possession of it, correct?
From the time of possession, did they live in that home the entire time together?
All right. Yes. Did they live in that home as their primary home? Not talking about when maybe some of them stayed somewhere else, but was that their primary home together from 2012 until the time of his death?
I am aware that Kouri had leased a home in Oakley where she was going to live separately for a period of time. So I can't answer that. I know for certain that they've both
Alright.
lived in that home the entire time.
Are you aware that Kouri never did live in another home during that period?
No.
Right. So you talked about then at that same, well, not that same time frame. You talked about then in 2020 that you helped Eric hire a divorce attorney.
Yes.
So 2 years before his death, you talked about it was that he'd found out some information he was upset about with Kouri, correct?
Mhm. Correct.
And so you reached out to Christina Miller. You sent an email to her, correct?
Yes, I did.
Asking if she would represent your brother-in-law, correct?
I asked if she would be willing to represent him. So
All right. And you set up the appointment for him.
yes,
Did you attend the appointment with him?
I did not.
All right. But you described yourself as an intermediary, but wasn't it decided that all correspondence would be between you and the attorney, not between Eric and the attorney?
That's incorrect. Eric did attend in-person meetings with Christina that I was not there for.
Yeah, I understand.
The-
My question was not in-person meetings, all correspondence by email, for example.
Yes,
And all documentation that the lawyer requested from Eric was sent by you, correct?
as far as documentation that I knew about. Eric may have sent additional documentation that I didn't know about, but anything that I was aware of, I did send.
All right. So as far as you know, all documentation was sent by you.
As far as I know of documentation that I was informed about, I did send that correspondence.
Understood. And you were the one to gather up the documents from Eric, correct?
It would depend on if it was an in-person meeting or not. If Eric did something in person, I do not know what documentation he brought to Christina.
All right. Let's just take a step back. Did you send the documentation to the divorce lawyer that was requested?
Yes,
All right. And is it fair to say you were doing this because Eric didn't want Kouri to know he was considering a divorce at that time? Fair?
Eric was aware that Kouri was watching his emails and didn't want her to know.
So he didn't want her to know he was considering divorce.
I can't speak for him, so I don't know exactly what he was thinking at that moment.
All right, but he asked all the correspondence be with you and not with him. Email and things being anything sent, either email or mail, was all done by you.
I can't say in general all correspondence.
I
So
understand.
we got to clarify that. It's only correspondence that I am aware of. So whatever Eric did outside of my knowledge, I can't answer that.
I understand that. And you're not aware of any other correspondence that Eric did. You're just not aware.
No, the divorce attorney would be the best source of that information.
All right. And we'll get a chance to talk to her. So anyway, but ultimately, Eric decided that he was not going to divorce Kouri, correct?
Correct.
And nothing came of these meetings and correspondence, correct?
Well, because of the trust was created because of this correspondence. So
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you.
yeah, so I recommended Christina Miller as the divorce attorney. She recommended Crystal Bowman to manage and write Eric's trust.
I understand that. But nothing happened as far as a divorce, correct?
They did not get divorced, no.
Right. Fair to say that at that time, you and your family, or at least you and Katie, were supportive of him divorcing Ms. Richins. Fair?
We were supportive of Eric no matter what the arrangement was. We were supportive while they were married. We were supportive of the divorce as well. So that was his choice.
All right. Now I want to talk about, jump to May of 2023. This is when you took control of the home on Willow Creek. Is that right, Willow Creek? Did I
Willow
say
Court.
that right?
Yep. Yeah,
It is
Willow Court.
All right. And you said you had the locks changed. Was that immediately?
As quick as the locksmith could get there.
All right. So within
With,
the week.
no, within a matter of hours, that
Hours.
locksmith was there.
And then you had cameras installed.
I installed the cameras.
You
Yep.
did that yourself.
I had the help of a family member.
All right. And you installed cameras outside the home
Cameras outside as well as inside the home.
as well as inside. Is that the only time cameras were installed? Were they all installed at that time? Or were there cameras that then were installed later, additional cameras?
There's a substantial amount of cameras. The cameras, as cameras needed more batteries, things to swap out, things like that, I had to have a replacement. And so I did add an additional camera here and there in order to have a replacement on site. So yeah, I mean, I'd say that the original bulk were installed, and then later on I would add supplemental cameras for more redundancy, batteries, things like that.
All right. Both inside and outside.
Correct.
When was the last time the cameras were installed in the home?
Do you mean the bulk of the cameras, or if I brought in another camera?
When was the very last time you installed any cameras in the home or outside the home, to be clear?
That would have been years ago. I mean, it's been a long time.
All right. Now, you said that whenever someone needed to enter the home, you went with them.
Yes.
That's true. So every single time someone has entered that home, you have been present?
Yes.
Now, law enforcement has entered that home many times since May of 2023, correct?
Yes.
And each time there was more than one law enforcement officer that entered the home.
Yes, I believe so. You'd have to check their records.
All right. And they came to execute search warrants on the home.
Yes.
Do you recall how many times they searched the home between 2023 and today?
I don't have an exact number. They would have a better record.
If I told you 10,
That seems reasonable.
does that seem reasonable?
Mhm.
And the last time they searched that home was 2 weeks ago, I believe today, correct?
Yes.
So almost 4 years after Mr. Richins' death, law enforcement is still searching the home.
Yes.
Are you aware if they removed things from the home every time they came into the home?
I'm not aware. You'd have to check their records.
Yeah, I'm just asking if you were aware.
They removed, typically as a result of a search warrant, I would think they would have removed items each time.
All right. And you were there, correct?
Yes.
All right. So you saw them removing items from the home.
I would receive a search warrant and they would write the items that they were there to pick up.
Okay.
So I can't tell you for sure every time they left if they left with that item.
All right. Makes sense. Now, there have been other people in the home besides law enforcement.
Yes.
People have been into the home to collect belongings for the boys, correct?
Not people. It would primarily be me as well as occasionally it would primarily just be me. I believe in one instance I had a family member help me carry some clothing out of the home, but that's it.
There was a family friend who came in early on and removed things from the home, true? Or a distant relative?
I wouldn't say removed things. So anything that was taken out of that home was all the children's belongings. So it would be their clothing, if they requested a trophy, if they wanted a fish out of the home that was a stuffed fish, for example. So those would be the items that would have sentimental value that the
Sure.
kids had wanted out of the home. And that would be me. So they would give me the items that they had wanted. I would go pick them up and then I would take them.
All right. Okay, let's move to Mr. Gabler. Mr. Gabler, this is the private investigator that you and the family hired, correct?
Yes. Mr. Gabler was hired by Crystal Bowman. for the estate.
for the estate. And, but he was paid out of the trust.
No.
Well, Ms. Bowman didn't pay him, correct?
Yeah. He was initially paid by myself.
So you personally paid him at first.
Yes.
And eventually he was paid out of the trust, correct?
Correct.
He was paid at least $100,000 out of the trust, correct?
Correct. You'll have the records. So.
All right. The trust that the three boys are the beneficiary of, correct?
The three boys are the beneficiary. Yes.
Okay. But that money was used to pay for an investigator. Fair?
Fair in regard to, yeah, in regard to ongoing litigation, that would be it. So
Understood. Do you recall when Mr. Gabler was hired? How shortly after Eric Richins' death?
believe it was maybe a little over a month after. Around
Alright.
a month.
And part of what he did as your private investigator was to look into Kouri Richins' background. True?
True.
And he looked into everything about her business, correct?
Todd did not directly look into her business, but he in general looked into her background.
Well, he interviewed people about her business, true?
I believe so. I'm not aware. He did his own reporting.
Well, you were very involved in what Mr. Gabler was investigating, fair to say?
Yes.
And you knew that he was investigating Kouri in order to try and come up with something that would result in criminal charges, fair?
No, that's not fair.
That's not fair.
No.
Well,
Todd-
isn't it? I'm
Todd
sorry.
investigated for the truth. He made it clear that no matter what, we had to be comfortable with the truth, no matter what that answer is.
And the truth that you were looking for was information to charge Kouri Richins.
I'll let him answer that. Ask that, then, excuse me, I'll let him answer that, and then we need to move on. Go ahead, sir.
Oh, sorry, can you ask the
The
question?
truth you were looking for was evidence to charge Kouri Richins.
That's false.
All right. However, Mr. Gabler was supplying evidence to Summit County investigators at least as early as November of 2022, correct?
I don't know the exact date.
When he would send information to investigators, would he copy you on those emails?
I don't recall if I received all correspondence with that. I couldn't tell you exactly.
Did you receive correspondence?
I did.
Okay.
Mr. Benson, if you could just take a look at this. Don't
Yeah.
read it out loud, just
Okay.
take a look at it.
Okay.
Do you see the date on that, Mr. Benson?
I do.
So let me ask again. As early as November of 2022, Mr. Gabler was sending information to Summit County Sheriff's Officer, to the investigators, detectives in this case, about Kouri's possible involvement in her husband's death. True?
Correct.
And you were copied on that.
Yes.
All right.
Now is an appropriate time to take a short restroom break, Ms. Lewis.
That would be fine.
Okay,
Yes.
folks, let's stretch our legs. Please rise for the jury. right, have a seat. Thank you. Mr. Benson, would you do me a favor?
Yes.
Would you stretch your legs, use the restroom if you want, but don't talk to anybody?
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yep, thank you.
We'll call you back in when it's your time.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you. Leave all that there. Yep. All right, we're still on the record. Ms. Lewis, to head off a potential series of objections from the state, would you give me a preview of the categories of information that are left in your outline for Mr. Benson?
I think it's all based on what was on direct. Is Mr. Gabler being in and out of the home, other things about people being in and out of the home, and then the night of, or the night day of March 4th, following up on some of the questions they asked.
What he witness perceived didn't do during that time frame?
What he perceived, yes. that
Okay.
sort of thing.
All right. Any concerns, Mr. Burmester?
No, not on those.
Okay. Folks, let's take a 10-minute break. But I'm trying to hold myself accountable. If you would help me do the same. Back on the record at 3:55. Thank you. Court's in recess.
Okay, so we are on break. You said the legal fees paid out of the trust for the civil suit was wrong. Hey, Alan. You said a chat GPT question. I have no clue. I thought it was wrong that they took, because that's what the defense was trying to say. Like, y'all took money out of the kids' trust fund to hire an investigator. I mean, and I guess all in all, at the end of the day, it convicted the mom. Like, well, not convicted, but all things led up to mom being the person that they were really looking into. So yeah, I kind of think like, yeah, defense like, well, y'all took money out of her thing, out of the kids' thing, away from the kids that put their mom in jail. Dang. I mean, because they kind of knew what they were looking for. Can we agree upon that? That's what the outcome they wanted. Because other than that, like, what other outcome could they want? I guess would be my thing. I guess just to know, and it's okay that they wanted to know, or any kind of way that they wanted to be, but it's definitely they had a lot of people up in this marriage with them. That's what I do know. A lot of people up in this marriage with them. Now, I don't know why they have so many people up in this marriage, but they got them all up in this marriage. To the point these people probably can't concentrate on their own marriage because they're all up in this marriage. Clint, and the way he changed the doors, like, she got arrested May 8th, and I guess he said they don't care if she get out on bail or not. She ain't coming back to that house, because they immediately changed the locks on the door. And they put up cameras. And they had security. Like, what kind of house was this? Like, dang. Hey, psych. I guess maybe not. You say, why hire an investigator? Surely the cops will do. Absolutely not. I guess not. Apparently not. Because they hired the investigators before anything could even, like, happen. And then, what I find real telling is that when the police decided to arrest her, they went and locked the house up that day, changed the locks, like, hired private security, all of that stuff. They did all of that stuff. I don't know. Is that what I didn't hear that part? If they said that part, yeah. Well, I know she lost access to everything, but what if she would have got out on bail? How they gonna lock her up from the house? Remember, she was in the house all up until she got arrested. So why wouldn't she be able to stay up in the house? What if she would have got bail? They wasn't gonna let her come out. They weren't gonna let her live in the house. I guess that would be my thing. Like, okay, so I mean, they was moving real fast. Let's just say that I think they were moving very fast. Me personally. Like they could have, they didn't have to move that fast. Like he was like he changing the locks that night. Yeah, so that would be my whole thing.
We're back on the record.
Oh, they back on the record.
Mr. Burmester, may we invite Mr. Benson back in?
Yes.
Okay.
Right, like on the ball, like good. Grief. They ain't waste no time. No time at all. Oh, from Ireland. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
No problem. Tracy, do we need a break? No problem. Yeah, take a moment. Yep. See, that's fine. Thank you, sir. Thanks for asking. 1 second, counsel.
All right, so we were talking about Mr. Gabler. As part of Mr. Gabler's investigation, he was allowed into the Willow Court home a number of times, correct?
Correct.
And he would go into the home and look through things all through the house, correct?
Correct.
Were you with him? I think you said you were, but you were with him every single time he went into the home.
Yes.
And did you see him move things around the home when he would go in?
Yes.
All right. And this was, well, let me rephrase that. Do you know when the first time was that he went in the home?
I don't know an exact date. You would probably know that date.
He would know what you said?
Or he would most likely.
I don't know it. So that's why I was
Okay,
asking.
all right, yeah.
Okay. All right. But we talked about there were approximately 10 searches between May of 2023. Well, actually, I think April of 2023 and 2 weeks ago.
Mhm.
he was in the home in between those searches, right?
Correct.
And in between those searches, he would find things and put them in different places, correct?
Todd documents everything that he does. He records it. I believe he records sound, does everything when he does his own investigations. So
He records, I'm sorry.
I believe he would record it if he was in the home. So I believe it would be at least an audio. So yeah. I mean,
He would audio record what he was doing while he was in the home?
yes, Todd's very specific about recording what he does.
Would he ever video record what he was doing?
I know that I believe he would audio record. I don't know specifically about a video, but you would have to consult Todd.
There were blink cameras in the home though, or
Yes.
cameras
Yes.
recording what he was doing, right?
Yes.
Did you ever turn those cameras, those videos, or those recordings over to the prosecution?
Those, they overwrite every 60 days. I believe that you've subpoenaed to get the video recordings, which we've given.
You have given those
Yes.
to, who did you give those to?
You. If we were subpoenaed, we provided the video recordings.
Right. We'll get back to that in just a minute. All right. So did he ever take things out of the home with him? Mr. Gabler?
I don't have a specific record of what he would have taken out of the home. He would have a record of that.
Okay. Well, I don't need a record right now. I just a yes or no. Do you know if he took things out of the home with him?
I'm thinking that he may have taken some documents, but I couldn't tell you exactly. He would have a better record.
If he took anything out of the home, would he provided that to the detectives or to the prosecution in this case?
Yes.
When you were in the home with Mr. Gabler, just the two of you, did you stay right with him throughout the house?
For the most part, yes.
All right. Was he ever allowed to just wander around while you sat down in the family room or something?
Typically, I was with him.
Okay. Typically, not always.
I can't guarantee that he wasn't ahead of me walking into a room when I was in the living room. So I would think typically I would have been right there with him.
So fair to say that during all these times that Mr. Gabler was searching the home, moving things, he was looking for things to help the prosecution. Fair?
No, that's not fair.
What was he looking for?
Todd was doing his own analysis.
Which he then provided all to the prosecution, correct?
I believe he did provide it. You'd have to ask him.
All right. Now, there were times that you were alone in the home, true?
True.
And what were you doing in the home when you were there by yourself?
When I was in the home by myself, it would be property management type things. So it would be flushing toilets, making sure that water would still run, making sure water wasn't leaking, making sure water heaters were turning over so that way they didn't go moldy, things like that. So it was primarily home maintenance type things. Again, if I was requested to pick up an item by the children, then I would go and pick up those items. But that would be the only reason I was in the home.
Okay. So you were in and out of the main bedroom, Eric and Kouri Richins' bedroom?
Yes, there's a bathroom in there. So
And you were in and out of the bathroom?
yes.
All right. I have a few more questions, but can I just have one moment, Your Honor?
Of course.
So in the last 60 days, who has been in and out of the home?
Last 60 days would be myself. It would be your private detective, or the defense's private detective. It would be the sheriff's officers with the warrant, and that's it.
You're providing all of those videos, correct?
Yes.
All right. Let's go back to the night of March 4th, 2022 for a moment. You said that you got to the house that night, middle of the night, correct?
Sorry, say the question again.
March 4th, 2022.
Okay. Yep.
You came to the home as quickly as you could. So about what time was that?
It's between 3:30 and 4 o'clock around there.
Okay. And you came in carrying your two girls, correct?
Yes.
And you said that you saw something unusual.
Yes.
And you said that what was unusual was that Kouri was shaking her hands.
Mhm.
And you found that someone whose husband had just dropped dead in front of her shaking the hands was an unusual reaction, in your opinion?
I don't know how personal I can get. So when a person, so I've noticed quite honestly, when your hands tremor.
I do have a tremor. That's observant.
Okay, it's subconscious, isn't it? So that happens. It's subconscious, and you can see it. You obviously notice it. So there's an obvious difference, in my opinion. I'm not a medical professional, but there's a difference between a subconscious tremor and someone who's doing this.
All right. Let me ask you this. Had you ever seen Kouri prior to that day, immediately after losing one of the closest people in her life?
No.
So you'd never seen her grieving prior to this?
No.
So you don't know what was typical or not typical for Kouri Richins, right?
No, that's correct.
Okay. All right. You said you took the boys upstairs into the playroom. I guess it's called the playroom, that sort of loft area.
True. Yes, correct.
All right. And how's that room set up? How many windows are in the room?
One.
And are there toy shelves in front of that window?
There are toy shelves in front of that window, yes.
Okay. And the boys were 9 and 7, the two older boys?
Yes.
All right. So did they crawl up on the shelves to look out the window?
At the time, I don't believe, so that home's been reorganized. So at the time, there was different furniture up there. So there were couches up there. Currently, there's not couches up there. So I think the toy shelves had been rearranged. So before I believe they could actually access that window.
All right. You're not sure, though.
I'm positive that furniture's been rearranged in that home, but
you're not sure what was in front of the window at that time?
I can't remember exactly what toy shelves were in front of that window at that time.
Okay. And so Eric was brought out on a stretcher. He was covered, correct?
Yes.
All right. So what was visible was what we see on TV, a body covered in a sheet.
Correct.
All right. And then you said that people asked Kouri asked Kouri, I'm not sure, that she needed to tell the boys that their father had passed, correct? Actually, I don't think that's what you said. I'm really sorry. I don't mean to put words in your mouth. I think what you said is you never heard Kouri ask anyone to tell the boys that their father had passed. I believe that's what you actually said.
Say that again.
You testified on direct that at no time did you hear Kouri tell any of the family, you need to tell the boys what's just happened to their father, or to tell the boys their father has passed, correct?
No, that's incorrect. So,
all right. I'm sorry. Then go ahead. What was it you said?
Yeah. So I had heard people tell Kouri that we need to tell the boys.
Okay. 2 questions. First, were you aware that the boys had already told their grandmother that they knew that their father had passed earlier before, maybe even before you got there? Are you aware of that?
I'm not aware of that, and that sounds incorrect.
All right. And ultimately, it was Kouri herself who spoke to the boys and told them what had happened, correct?
Yes,
Were you there when that happened?
I was in the home, but I wasn't in the room.
You weren't in the
Okay.
room sitting with the boys when she told them that their father had died.
No, I believe I was in the room. So if we're talking about, so there was somewhat, I think, some different instances where a boy maybe went back into a room and she talked to one of them there. There was also a time when we were all sitting in the living room and they were talking about it there.
All right, I don't want you to speculate, just if you know or you don't know. Were you there when she sat the three boys down and told them what happened?
Yes, I was sitting on the couch with my two daughters. Yes.
Could you hear the conversation?
Yes, I think she was a few seats down.
All right, and she did explain to the boys.
Yes.
Just give me one moment. I have nothing further at this time.
Mr. Burmester.
Yes, just think 3 or 4 questions. Regardless of how the furniture is today, do you have a distinct recollection of seeing the body being wheeled out that window?
I do.
Was there any occasion when you were with Mr. Gabler after charges had been filed? Well, first of all, I'll ask that.
After, yeah,
After
in the
charges
home,
filed,
yes.
ever go in with Mr. Gabler?
yes,
In those instances, did you ever see Mr. Gabler identify something and leave it and tell the police later?
absolutely. Yeah. Todd would not, if anything was of interest, he would immediately call the sheriff's office and it would be documented.
Did you ever see Mr. Gabler bring items in and leave them in the house?
No.
So I think you testified that Eric bought the home in 2012
Yes,
from you,
correct. Me and my wife.
and the next summer, 2013, is when Eric married Kouri, correct?
Yes.
In the backyard of that house.
Correct.
Thank you.
Yep.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
May this witness step down, Ms. Lewis?
Can I ask just one follow-up?
Of course.
My feet too. I say that and then I end up.
I understand.
So you just said that anytime Mr. Gabler would find something of interest, he would call the Summit County Sheriff's Office?
Correct. For a proper chain of custody.
So as he was looking for evidence against Kouri, he would call them and tell them to get a search warrant?
I believe so. Yes.
Nothing further.
Mr. Burmester, anything further?
No, Your Honor.
You can step down, sir. Thank you.